Well, alright then. Actually managed to get started a little earlier for once. I keep telling myself, oh yeah, I'll get started a little earlier so I have more time to do things for the rest of the day. And then I don't. I get started at like 4 or something. Let's get a move on. I think after whatever we did last time I went around chatting people up. Or there wasn't much to chat people up about. How many things do we have to do? There's some things we could do back at Citadel. Yeah, looks like we got plenty of things to do before we go set up that cure. Right, the last thing we did was, Rachni. Previously, whenever we've done these things, whoever we picked up should be on the ship. So... Is Grunt around here somewhere? Is he in the medbay? He should be in the medbay.
Certainly possible. Would require strengthening exercises.
There he
Get
is.
muscles to support weaker bone structure.
Right. Yeah, I can do that.
Alloy of Edie's body not flexible like organic tissue could cause unintentional damage. Recommend pillows, cushions, possibly gel packs.
Okay, that's a little weirder, but yeah, alright, cushions.
Positioning critical to success. Can forward Edie charts, videos with relevant data.
No, Edie's pretty busy with, you know, stuff. Let's send that to me. You're not gonna tell anyone about this, right? Like Shepard? Shepard doesn't really need to know.
Ah, guarantee Shepard won't learn about it from me.
He's standing right there, isn't he?
I wish I wasn't.
Oh god, he's bleeding a lot. Can't talk to him about it, but, you know. He's bleeding so hard it's going through the bed. Are you sure he's gonna be okay? Oh, medbay is definitely lively. What's this? Ah, reassign powers. I want to reassign. What do I have access to right now? Warp ammo, which doesn't make sense for me to have. Fortification and biotic ability, which also doesn't make a lot of sense. And fortification doesn't seem bad. I'll stick with my armor piercing for now. Maybe we didn't chat anyone up. I'm curious. Would a resident Prothean have anything to say about our previous mission?
Commander, I did not expect to face the Rachni in this cycle, but I am not surprised.
You said you used them as weapons?
Biological proxies. It was before I was born, but every Prothean had heard the stories. When we knew of them, the Rachni spent their lives singing thoughts to each other. But our scientists were more interested in their biology. The Rachni were well suited to harsh conditions. So we bred them for violence, selecting the most cunning and warlike of the queens. Then we unleashed them upon our enemies. For a time, it worked, until they became too cunning and warlike and turned on us. We put them down before they could develop any further. We thought they had been exterminated. Yet it seems our experiment evolved into this cycle's nemesis.
It was a bit of a problem.
There was no such thing as trusting the Rachni in our cycle. They were animals. But if they will fight the Reapers now, so be it. I am glad I met the grunt Krogan. Living in his quarters, I have come to know him better. He will fight the Reapers with great ferocity.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
I would prefer to be alone.
Gotcha. Yeah, I guess I ended right after the mission.
Gabby, what do you think about our new yeoman, Miss Trainer?
She's not a yeoman, she's a communication specialist. And you're barking up the wrong tree, Kenneth. You're not her type.
Oh, well, perhaps you should go and talk to her then.
Maybe I should. Nobody's barking up my tree.
If it works out, be sure to take video.
Kenneth trying to make sure the important things happen, I guess.
So, the Rachni, that must get your mouth watering.
Can't do a story. That's as classified as it gets.
I suppose it would cause a panic, but wouldn't the news drive up recruiting?
It might also piss off a krogan with diplomatic immunity. No thanks.
Doesn't need to be classified.
Commander.
Yeah, nothing new with you. There's not going to be anything new in here, is there? Basically, we only had one thing to buy. I guess there'd be a lot more in there if you were playing this without playing 2. See, now there's all of Arlock Company. We were told they were hanging out in the cargo bay. Now, see, this doesn't make any sense. Because I learned that we don't have an Arlock... We're not going to have an Arlock Company asset, because one of the weird... somewhat nonsensical little changes they made in the Legendary Edition is originally it was possible to have up to 75 points for the strength of Arlock Company, one just for having them, and another 25 and then another 25 for having Grunt and completing his loyalty mission and him surviving the whole suicide mission previous game, right? If you save the Queen, originally, you would lose 25 points because they took a lot of losses covering the Queen's escape. You'd still have, if you played the previous game and Grunt was still, presumably leading them and training them pretty good, then you'd still have 50 points. But for whatever reason, BioWare decided to just make it that it's a negative 75 points now. So Arlock Company, if you save the Queen, doesn't exist. But the original description, which I don't think was changed, simply states that they've taken a lot of losses. Hell, we got that mail saying that they're here. Unless this was added unless this was a mod thing. Assuming it's not a mod thing, then the decision to make it so that they were wiped out makes even less sense. Because they clearly have some guys, they're here, and they can replenish their numbers because there's still other krogan they can draw from. So I don't know what they were thinking there. Might use the save editor to try to find the point where I can sort of add them back in, because that's just silly. Because they're there. It's not like they disbanded. Hell, I could probably go down here and say hello. Yeah, see? Look at them. We're all here.
Commander Shepard, Bird not Dag. I speak for Arlock Company.
Yeah?
You're second in command?
I am honored to be chosen for this duty.
I'm glad you made it. Are your people ready to fight the Reapers?
I know my kind, and I know my company. Every krogan here wants blood.
Cool.
I've been around a long time, human. Fought many wars, earned every scar.
No doubt.
I envy your enemies, Commander. To be hated by one so powerful speaks well of you. My krogan would destroy anything we face to earn such a reputation.
Your clan leader speaks highly of you as well.
Okay, so this isn't a mod thing because they have full dialogue.
Good luck.
Luck? Ha! Luck is for a Solarian male hoping to please his mate.
So yeah, Arlock Company is here.
Rachni? Of all the things that... It's like you got the opposite of a horseshoe up your ass.
You don't know shit.
Grunt is crazier than you, and that's saying something. You're better looking, at least.
Oh, thank you.
Hey.
You know what? I'm gonna look into that right now. Because just having that conversation just about sealed it for me. Them, BioWare deciding that Arlac Company gets completely wiped out is completely bogus. Yes, and I did just use the word bogus because it fucking fits. Hold on. Alright, where'd I put this thing? This folder is... There's just so many things here. Oh wait, I already opened it. I'm already here. Alright. That's not the right one. That's the right one. Let's just make sure there's a completely fresh and up-to-date save right here. Let's see, if I go in here, and I open that, if I go into plot... I'd probably need to go digging into the more obscure parts of the save editor. Maybe I look into this later, because we don't even have, like, the full Krogan assets yet, because we have to do Priority Tuchanka. But I don't know. If I were to look... Yeah, when I look at, like, the raw plot data and stuff, there's a... This might not be a simple thing to do. Asset? No, that doesn't do it. Rachni? Oh, fuck me. This is a bit confusing. I might not be able to do it. That sucks. I wonder if there's a mod that does it. That reverses that edit. I'm not gonna look into mod editing right now. That'd just be silly. Still, Arlac Company is here. They weren't all wiped out. I'd love to hear the BioWare rationale for that nonsense.
Can't believe Cerberus would open fire on civilians like that. As twisted and insane as his logic might be, I thought the elusive man was trying to save humanity. I guess he's willing to sacrifice anyone to win. The munitions you carry into the field deserve at least a triple check. Shuttle's primed for the next drop.
Okay, he's running out of interesting things to say. Yeah, like I said, I just don't get it. I don't get it.
Wasn't the first time I faced Rachni.
Really? You've seen them before?
Few years back, on Novaria, Saren and his minions were trying to extract information from the Rachni Queen.
You saw the Queen?
Hell, we spoke to her.
You spoke? I can't imagine that. The things you've done, sir, they're amazing.
Well, it didn't seem that way at the time. Mostly, you're just clawing your way out of one mess and into another, hoping your ass comes along for the ride.
Oh, they even talk with the crew. That's nice. Nothing going on back here. means Garrus isn't going to be in his quarters.
Have we found any new engineers for the Crucible glyph?
5 ex-Sonax Industries scientists who attempted to reverse engineer Prothean technology stolen from planet Garvuk. They're technically still wanted by the Council for hiding Prothean technology. As well, Sonax's part in instigating an illegal war on Garvuk.
I'm sure the Council will forgive that for helping with the Crucible. Extend those scientists amnesty and an invitation.
Right away.
The Krogan are gearing up for a full-scale war. It's nearly indistinguishable from how they normally operate on Tuchanka, really.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming by.
Not much new going on back here. Something new on the computer, though. Email from Dr. Locke to Admiral Hackett. Security almost opened fire on the Rachni when their ship pulled up to the Crucible, Admiral. I had to invoke your name more than once before they were let on board. They're following instructions, but my god, do I have to tell you how nervous everyone on this project is to see Rachni strutting down the halls. They almost gave Professor Lau a fit. I'll let you know how our next staff meeting goes. I would have hoped they would have gotten some early warning, but... audio log. Grunt addresses new Arlock company recruits. Still don't understand why they put a tank-grown freak in charge of a whole company. I don't understand why they gave me whining piejacks for soldiers. I have more years on the battlefield than you have kills, Runt. Trying to mate with Solarian females doesn't count as fighting. No one talks to... Someone shut him up. We move in an hour. Yeah, Grunt's really taken to the leadership position. Well done, Grunt. What's this? Intel from Battle of Arcturus. Telemetry captured from Arcturus Station shows just how quickly Reapers poured in from the relay and tore apart Alliance fleets. VIs can analyze hostile fire and the data collected to increase weapon damage. You can also spend processing power looking for ways to improve shielding against Reaper weapons. Weapon damage or shield strength? I mean, technically this is a bonus for us on the ground, but taking it as it's described, this is more about augmenting ship and fleet data. And the Reapers can basically one-shot shit. So, like, a shield strength bonus would probably only help against, like, smaller, like, craft, like drones. Drone fighters and stuff like that. Being able to take the Reapers down before they can do more damage would probably be more important. So in this case... I'm gonna go with the weapon damage bonus. I got like a single strand of hair hanging down over my glasses.
A pleasure to see you.
I know Garrus isn't back here, but... Yeah, I got my work done a few days ago, so I got a bit more time to goof off. Technically, I still have a little bit left to do, but it's the easy part that I could clear in a day or two.
You know, my lab studied the Rachni. Long-distance communication with no time lag, the ability to control workers, and at close range, the Queen can even speak through dead or dying members of other species.
Glad they're on our side.
If we can develop instant long-range communication without quantum entanglement, maybe when this war is over.
That'd be neat.
Commander? Commander?
Is he actually taller, or is that just his armor? I think he is actually taller. That's like a mini Krogan. Probably already talked to these guys on... Yeah, I already talked to them on the way through. I came through and then went up to my portage.
Commander?
Yeah. Too bad that section of the ship is blocked off.
Alright, here's another one. Dates back to the Rachni Wars. So, a Krogan and a Salarian have landed on a Rachni world for a top-secret mission.
That is unlikely. Salarians rarely took
He's
part
trying
in
to
raids
tell a
on
joke.
Rachni-occupied worlds directly.
Missing the point? So the two guys are climbing up a hill going through this nasty green fog. And as they get near the top, they come out of the fog, and the Salarian sees thousands of Rachni. He looks over at the Krogan and says, "Oh, well, that makes me nervous!" The Krogan says, "You think that's scary? When this is over, I have to go back down through that fog by myself!"
The implication being that the Salarian soldier would be dead.
Yes. Thank you for killing the 2,000-year-old joke.
That joke plays to racial stereotypes on both sides. The Krogan appears brutish and insensitive, while the Salarian appears weak. Stereotypes such as exemplified here led to the development and use of the Genophage.
Well, yeah. It's also one of the only jokes you'll hear both Salarians and Krogan telling. Comedy isn't really about being nice. Sometimes it's a way to air out the ugly things people think.
Alright. Killed the joke, but, you know, I understood.
How's Grunt? Our little tank baby's all grown up, huh?
Apparently he'll be on his feet and killing again in no time.
Well, you learn from the best, Commander. Every
That's
time
true.
he incinerates someone with a shotgun and does that little laugh, he'll think of you. Edie says it was Rachni down there?
Yeah.
I thought they were on our side after you saved the Queen on Novaria.
It wasn't her fault. She got captured. She's with us now.
Until the next time the Reapers sing a sour yellow note of whatever.
Yeah, that is kind of an issue. But it didn't seem like they had, like, taken control of the Queen's mind. They were just, like, messing with her kids.
Commander?
Edie?
Shepard, I had a question about human behavior.
Why is it you never have questions about Asari behavior or Turian behavior?
I tried asking Liara questions about the Asari bonding process. She said I do not guard the secrets of the Normandy's crew carefully enough for her to entrust me with such private information. The Asari word she used translates as blabbermouth. I think she has become a more private person since becoming the Shadow Broker.
And tell me about it.
Hello, Shepard.
She's only had a body for, like, what, a couple of weeks, maybe a month, and she's already thinking about, like, trying to find, like, breeding tips. Then again, so was Joker. Like, it didn't take them long at all. Then again, it's like, we're kind of at the edge of the end of the galaxy, so you know what? You do it. You do you. I probably saw that one. I wouldn't have missed it. I'm guessing there aren't any Reapers out here. It seems like we only find things when scanning when there are Reapers present. Well, hang on now. There are Reapers present. They're just not picking up any of our scans. There's something hidden there. Alright. There's still something in Gemini Sigma. Horsehead and Petra didn't have anything. Arcturus is clear. One of those things said it was we were looking for something to Krogan DMZ, so something to look for when we head back through there. I don't know how I missed it. So things can be in systems you've been to. Well, let's try to grab this. It was probably fuel. Honestly, usually when you only have something, one or two things missing, it's usually like just fuel. Yeah, it was fuel. We'll just leave it until next time I'm out or something. Well, we needed to find that Shadow Broker team. Barlavon said it was in the system. Were there other parts I could go to that I haven't been to? Yeah, I don't think I've been through here, actually. Yeah, it was Dranik.
I found something.
Once Rothla was a large... Yeah. Nothing new on the description. I guess the Reapers haven't bothered with this area yet. There it is, Shadowbroker Wet Squad. Hopefully they can get somewhere dry.
Reapers eluded.
And that'll be fuel.
Light jump successful.
Okay, there's something hidden out there, but... So that other thing had to be fuel. 33%. So there's at least one thing out there. Well, I'm not going to be able to get it right now. Let's go pick up the fuel from here so we're not wasting it. There we go. Now, I want to make sure... Okay, that's something where we go to the Citadel. That's something for the Citadel. That's something for the Citadel. I don't know if we found that. Find evidence of what happened to the Ambassador's son. I think we heard about something, but we weren't able to talk to those people. Alright, that's Barlavon's thing. We sorted that out. Did we find the heat unit stabilizers? I don't know. You used to be able to expand these to see what point you were, but... I do not believe we have access to Irune. Search the Ismar frontier for components. Wasn't I out there? I thought I already checked that system. Right, we found that. You kind of gotta hunt for things. I could have swore I had visited the Ismar frontier, but I didn't find anything. Maybe it opened up a bit since I first had access to it.
Signal confirmed.
Oh, there we go. I guess I wasn't so thorough. Advanced biotic implants. Oh, that was it. That was where that mission was, and we didn't find anything there. Now I kind of want to check some of these other ones that don't have a percentage sign near them, just to be absolutely sure. You typically find things on planets. You don't just find random stuff drifting out unless it's just fuel. So let's do close examination of every planet. Alright. This was where you had to go for the Grissom Academy, so that's clear. Nothing going on here. We have access to the system, but there's nothing going on there. Anos Basin. This was a Solarian system. We kind of already cleaned this up. Or at least we would have checked everything. We did not have access to adjacent sectors. All's good there. I can't really poke around the rest of the DMZ with the Reapers in the one spot I could look, so that... Like, I've got some missions for things that I don't think I can actually get to yet. So, I suppose all there's really left to do at the moment is to go to the Citadel, turn some stuff in, and then... I guess we're doing Priority Tuchanka right away. I was thinking after we did Priority Tuchanka, like every time we do like a major priority thing, I could do one of the expansion story things. So I was thinking we'd go do Arias. And then after the next big priority, we do Dr. Bryson.
You're cleared to dock, Normandy. Do you need ground transport?
Nah.
I'll handle it.
Yes, Commander.
I'll take my walk.
Fierce fighting continues as the Reapers occupy most of
Listen, honey, please. This is how it has to be. Everyone's going through this.
Yo, it's Cortez.
I know, and I'm sure you'll be fine. It's just so damn inconvenient. It's like we're pre-space flight all of a sudden.
Pretty much. You should see what they've got us using for heavy munitions. It's all mass-produced LCOS combine crap.
Wait, munitions? Explosive munitions? I thought you weren't going to be on the front lines.
Not in hot combat zones, no, of course not. But sometimes, they need us to breach enemy fortifications.
Goddess, you said you were just going to be building emergency outposts.
How you doing, buddy?
You finally made it off the Normandy.
Glad I did. Even with the chaos of all the refugees, seeing so many ships in flight is comforting. Gets me thinking. Hey, a Turian frigate. I think that's the PFS Havenkaw.
What's one Turian warship doing at the Citadel?
Looking for dry dock, I bet. She's seen battle. Look at the waiver in her drive core emissions. Alone, limping, looking for a haven. Maybe it would have been better to just go down fighting, like their families back home.
Are you talking about the Turians or yourself?
I should have been there. With Robert.
I'm glad you weren't. You'd be dead, and we'd never have met.
Yeah. That's the one good thing from all this. I'm glad to serve with you, Shepard.
The lives of future generations rest on those Turian shoulders. On our shoulders. Nobody is giving up. Not those Turians, not me, not you.
If anyone can pull this all together, it's you. And I'm...
Is that an Alliance cruiser? What's it doing here?
That's the SSV London. Decommissioned years ago. Look, no guns. Refugees must have salvaged her from a shipyard. Geneva-class cruisers always had ezo cores like granite.
People find a way to survive.
Do whatever it takes to see another day. Gotta let go. For real this time. The refugees here have put up a memorial wall. They leave mementos of lost loved ones. I was thinking maybe...
What's stopping you?
Nothing. I mean... Let me think about it.
Get you around.
Your suggestion to come out here was a good one, Commander. I needed this.
Cerberus forces have reportedly attacked a Solarian medical facility on Kesh. Solarian officials have no comment. Refugees from Reaper-occupied colonies are being placed in makeshift camps. Military transport.
Welcome, Commander Shepard. Please select a destination.
I guess I'll just sweep every level, see what we can dig up, see how many things I can turn in, maybe clear up other things that I couldn't fix up elsewhere.
Emergency civilian housing.
Using Hades Gamma as a staging area, Reaper forces
That guy from the ship that we told to shove off is still here. Huh, a Drell. You don't see many Drell around.
Can I ask, where were you when the Reapers...
Would you shut up?
I'm sorry?
I don't want to hear it. You humans think you had it rough? You know what happened on Karshan?
My apologies. I thought, since your homeworld...
Stop! Just stop!
They're very synchronized.
Cerberus forces have reportedly attacked a Solarian medical facility on Kesh. Solarian officials have no comment.
Thank you, human. We will hold the pillars close to our hearts and persevere.
Welcome to Batarian State Arms.
Ooh, I don't think this was here before. The Raptor's a... Shush! Raptor is a human version of Turian weapon developed for conflict and low intensity something something. They're just gonna keep talking, so let's just...
restrictions when making a purchase.
Probably not gonna use that, so that's not a priority.
Asari intelligence is reporting sightings of Reaper forces in the Selian Nebula and the Nimbus cluster. Using Hades Gamma as a staging area, Reaper forces.
Well, I followed your advice. What do you think of my new look?
It's very nice.
I don't know. It just doesn't seem like me, but I guess that's the point. Kelly Chambers is no more. Citadel records now show me as Felicia Hannigan of the mining vessel Typhoon.
Pleased to meet you, Felicia.
No, you can call me Kelly.
I'm gonna call you Felicia anyway, because you never know who might be listening.
Has fallen to Reaper forces. The Volus homeworld, Irun, has fallen to Reaper forces. Volus refugees
damn.
are reportedly fleeing to Turian colonies. Cerberus forces have reportedly attacked a Solarian medical...
There's nothing this galaxy can't beat if we all work together. Except the Reapers. Ever see the size of one of those things? My personality matrix can predict what the real Commander Shepard would say with 7% accuracy.
Pathetic. Garrus is still hanging around down here.
Continues as the Reapers occupy most of Paladin. It appears that Turian forces may lose their planet. Has requested a war summit of Council races. Reports suggest he has also offered an invitation to the krogan.
His ass is going through that barrier.
Intelligence is reporting sightings of Reaper forces in the Selian Nebula and the Nimbus cluster. Using Hades Gamma as a staging area, Reaper forces have rapidly expanded.
Yeah, not a whole lot going on around here. Got a little update from Kelly, which is nice. Or Felicia.
Welcome, Commander Shepard. Please select a destination. One moment, please. Now arriving at Presidium Embassy.
Yes, I have spoken to you before.
You know, I overheard that conversation. Maybe that was enough.
If it's possible that my son Bilal...
Not yet.
My apologies. Have reportedly attacked a Solarian medical facility.
Okay, no, that wasn't enough. I couldn't. They were talking about his son, right? Those guys outside the club.
Thank you again, Earth Clan. Our military strength is minimal, but we are proud to help as we can.
The Hanar homeworld, Kage, has reiterated its support for Council forces and has offered extensive medical and technical support.
Refused to even look me in the eye. Why would you kill me?
Krogan forces reported heavy casualties in destroying a Reaper stronghold located in what was once Rachni space.
Hello, ma'am. What can I do for you today?
Such a nice young woman. You remind me of someone. Well, I'm looking for my son. He's a soldier, you know.
I know. Please, Teresa, are you sure you don't remember me?
Calling me by my first name is very forward of you, young lady. I'd rather you didn't do that.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. I must have confused you with someone else.
Oh, no worries, dear. Now, perhaps you can help me. I'm looking for my son. He's a soldier. He's been gone for a long while now.
So sad to keep hearing it. I think I remember wanting to... I wanted to try talking to Dina about that guy's son, but I don't think he had anything to say, so he's not going to be of help, but I'll try again, just to be sure.
Shepard?
Personal situation.
I should go.
I'll be here.
Yeah, he's got nothing. I think I would have checked the Spectre terminal. I know there's nothing on there, unless it was delayed. I don't know. Let's check the Spectre terminal.
Spectre status recognized. Coming up, looting and rioting in the Kepler Verge. The cause? Reports of
Nothing going there. Oh, it was information we have to acquire for money. Oh, there's the power grid schematics. I wonder if these ones on here are things that I missed in previous missions. Haven't been as thorough as I like to feel I am. That's a nice looking variant of that pistol. Wait, assault shotgun? They turned the grenade launcher from the previous game into a shotgun? Wait a minute, that model was modded into the first game, I remember. So was this one with the shield things. Yeah. Some nice looking weapons in here, but they're so expensive. Alright, well, unless Purgatory's power grid is improved, the nightclub may need to cut back on entertainment. Give morale on the Citadel. Keeping Purgatory operational may prove beneficial in the long term. Schematics for an older Krogan power system can be purchased for a nominal fee. Do it. Information. Alliance soldier Bilal Osaba, the son of Ambassador Dominic Osaba, is missing in action on Benning and presumed dead. Civilians engaged in black market trades with occupying Cerberus troops have been able to procure the dog tags of fallen Alliance soldiers, and obtaining proof of Bilal's death would ease his father's mind. To maintain deniability of black market trafficking, the dog tags should be presented as though the Spectre personally retrieved them from Bilal Osaba Zobadi. Bilal Osaba Zobadi? Yeah, let's go with that. Let's get the ultralight materials. Yeah. If we want to use heavier weapons, we need to get anything we can to actually get decent levels of weight reduction. That just adds weight, which isn't good for my class, so we won't hurry on that one. I don't really use scopes all that often, so... yeah, we'll leave those two for now.
classified as extinct for millennia.
Need a lot of money. I guess I didn't look in the buy menu when I was looking for that information.
Is reporting sightings of Reaper forces in the Celian Nebula and the Nimbus cluster.
But what I need is proof.
Using Hades gas.
I can't take your word on this. But those assumptions merely leave my son stranded in enemy territory.
Okay, I don't have the option to actually
Welcome,
talk to
Commander
him,
Shepard.
so let's
Please, for one
quickly...
moment, please.
Let's pop out of there, then pop back in, and that'll reset him.
Now arriving at docking bay D-24.
Well, now that panel's gone. Do I need to completely leave the... Oh wait, now the panel's over here.
One moment, please.
Whoops. Whoops.
Now arriving at Presidium Embassy.
Yes, I have spoken to you before. Have you found my son?
I found your son's body in the slums on Benny. He sacrificed himself to save his squad.
I see. Their guilt made them avoid me. They should feel honored by his sacrifice. I know that I do. Thank you, my friend.
Didn't even give him the tags.
The Hanar homeworld, Kaje, has reiterated its support.
What am I doing on rep? Yeah, we're moving up there. Oh, I have enough for a big upgrade. I guess I was finishing all my fitness upgrades. Health and shields. Big boost. 25%. Melee damage bonus. Increased power damage by 30% for 20 seconds after an enemy is killed by heavy melee. Okay, I was gonna say, don't really use melee all that often, but it ties in with increasing my powers. Though, I mostly just use my powers to summon my turret and my drone. I haven't been using, like, the Incinerate, Cryo, or Overload that often. I forget. Can you redistribute your points in this game? I don't remember. This does help me play a bit more aggressively, though, and survive, so I kind of want to go for the health and shield bonus. Nah, we'll do this. Give me some power. I think I can afford another thing. Yeah, I can. I already feel pretty powerful. Having these ammo types doesn't feel that essential. I don't know how tough things are going to get. I think I'm playing on the next highest difficulty after, like, whatever the medium setting is. Although, with this, you don't... I kind of didn't think about that. So long as you have armor-piercing ammo type, you don't really need the upgrade. I don't know, does the upgrade for weapons that gives your shots penetration, does it, like, stack on top of the bonus you get from using the ammo? That's actually an interesting question. Let me see about that. Why is Streamlabs highlighted like that? Still streaming, aren't I? Yes, I am. Okay. As effect 3 does armor penetration mod stack with armor. Misspelled penetration the first time. This is too complicated a question for me to get. I have 2 mods for armor penetration. There's single-use ammo mods and skills like warp. Does it all stack? Apparently they do. At least according to the few answers I just skimmed. Interesting. Interesting. Yes, yes.
Welcome, Commander Shepard. One moment, please.
All right, we can deliver that power system down here at Purgatory.
Now arriving at ward level Purgatory.
I hate this guard duty assignment. I hate everything right now.
Nothing to do about it. We each stand duty in our own ways.
At least your wife and the kids went on that trip you mentioned a while back. Where was it again?
They canceled the trip. Donated the funds to some charity when Earth was hit. And then...
Palaven. Shit. I'm sorry.
Don't mean to interrupt you, but I found these schematics. They're pretty old, but maybe they could help you?
Oh. Those really are old, but solid. We could totally convert our current systems to this. Thanks. I'm almost done with the system upgrade. Yeah, I know. It's gonna be amazing. Hey, could we maybe give a portion of our profits to a Krogan charity? I mean, it's old, but we are using their tech, right?
Do Krogan charities exist?
Everyone have a drink? Yeah?
Raise a glass, boys. Bilal Osoba. Only on account of him do I still draw breath.
Bilal Osoba, one brave son of a bitch. Here, here.
Do you guys have a tab? We're the dancers. I want dancers.
Well, the dance floor's over there.
Not dancers, don't act. Sir, I'm here for shore leave, not the Viennese waltz.
I don't,
Oh, come on. If there's an ass shaking somewhere on this station, you guys know where it is.
And not messing with that yet. Anything new cracking around here? James still hanging out.
Damn it, morale is pitiful. The troops need something to bring back their fighting spirit. Remember the stories of the 1st Regiment?
I don't think I walked over here before.
Outnumbered.
Yeah, of course I did.
They would die, but they fought for the Empire. That's the spirit we need if we're going to hold Paladin.
Commander Shepard, maybe I can help. The banner of the 1st Regiment is waiting for you at Bay D-24.
The banner of Commander Shepard. I owe you a drink. Thank you. We'll hold that banner proudly as we take our homeworld back from these bastards. Ah, the banner of the 1st Regiment. That should put some steel in their spine.
Happy to help.
Thanks for the drink.
Anything going on down here? Nope. Alright, getting some stuff done. And since it doesn't look like there's much to explore, it looks like we'll be doing Priority to Tuchanka pretty dang soon. In fact, do we even have much else to do? Somebody wants automated turret schematics. Alright, we gotta go talk to Barlavon again. Haven't found any heating stabilizers. Maybe that's something we can get at the store. Again, we have this, but we don't have any way to deal with it. That one we got. We got most of this sorted out. the rest of it has to be sorted out on the station. Otherwise, I don't know where we'd get it. Unless one of those things was hidden in that one Krogan system.
Please select one moment, please.
Which, if I go back to now, is probably going to get me...
Now
Reapers jump me.
Huerta Memorial Hospital.
No, it's fine. We won't be needing your supplies after all. No, we found a better variant of Metagel that allows for an even higher...
Coming by again, Shepard? I'm flattered.
Just wanted to say hi.
I wish the best for you, Thane.
And I for you. Do not grieve for me. I have good doctors. My son visits regularly. Perhaps we will keep up via the extranet now that you are free. Until we meet again, Shepard. Primarch Victus has requested a war summit of Council races and reports...
Welcome to Serta.
Another Metagel upgrade. Let's see why not.
Promising sales go to help new medical research.
So, the nurse tells me you've refused to bathe and you only want to talk to another Asari.
Yes. Can I have a gun?
I'm sorry, no.
Maybe I could be transferred to another hospital then. Someplace unsecured. I could have a gun then, right? And no humans. And wherever you transfer me, it shouldn't have humans.
The humans are our allies. You don't trust them?
No, it's not that. How are my eyes? What color are they right now?
Maybe you could tell me what happened.
Okay, well, something bad happened there. I'm going to assume Cerberus. What a lovely view. Is this Hannah our doctor? Oh.
I believe you were looking for these prototypes?
You found them? Thank you. These biotic upgrades will save a lot of Alliance lives. We'll begin production immediately. Here, for your trouble.
Wow, he got a whole little, like, cutscene edited in for his
timeline is
thing.
reasonable? Excellent. No, not at all. I'm just glad we'll be able to help your people. And the timeline is reasonable? Excellent. No, not at all. I'm just glad to be able to help your people.
Okay, I need surgery, but when can I get back to the front?
You're not.
What?
You have extensive nerve damage. Once we remove the leg, we can't install a prosthetic for at least 5 weeks.
I told my squad I'd fly back next week.
I'm sorry, but that's impossible.
The Volus homeworld, Irun, has fallen to Reaper forces. Volus refugees are reportedly fleeing.
And look at that. Kaiden is back on his feet.
Hey, Shepard. If you came to spring me, you're late. I'm getting out soon.
Good to hear.
Maybe you already saw the vid, but I accepted Udina's offer.
What vid?
Inspector Caden Alenko. That's a big deal.
Only the second human Spectre. It's humbling. Udina thinks they may have a pretty big ceremony, even with the war. And he says a celebration will give folks something hopeful to latch onto.
You ready to take on that responsibility?
You set the bar pretty high, but I'll do my best. It's strange. On Mars, I should have died. The promotion from Anderson, Spectre status. These are terrible days. But I've been lucky.
You're perfect for the job. On Eden Prime, I could see there was something special about you. You're a good soldier.
That means a lot. I'm happy. I want to serve.
I thought you might want to join the Normandy.
Yeah, I have thought about that. I just need to get out of here first, though. Take care of some things. I've been trying to locate my old Spec Ops squads. My students from Biotics Division.
Any luck?
No, probably went underground, but they'll turn up. If they were easy to find, they wouldn't be doing their jobs.
Well, let me know when you're out. Take care, Spectre Alenko.
Stay safe, Commander.
Alright, there you go. I don't know what vid he was talking about, but alright.
Hello again, Commander. Here to see our patient?
How is Caden doing?
Very well. With the neural redundancies of his L2 implants, his concussion is nearly undetectable now. I still want to keep him under observation, but he should be fit for duty soon.
I already talked to her about this stuff, didn't I?
This war has left a lot of injured people homeless. How's your center handling the extra load?
We're getting more refugees every...
I think I did, yeah.
Triage.
Keep up the good work, Doctor.
You too, Commander.
Fierce fighting continues as
We were deployed to Tiptree. It's a small human colony. We were supposed to help with evac. The enemy was landing. Just scouts, the Turian things, a few of the big ones. We were spread over half the continent, getting colonists to shuttles, wiping out husks.
It sounds like you were doing good work.
Could I have a gun? I'd feel a lot better.
Just tell me what happened at Tiptree.
Okay, it doesn't sound like Cerberus yet.
Welcome, Commander Shepard. One moment, please.
Alright, run around the commons, talk to Barlavon, check the stores, hopefully we find that heating unit.
Now arriving at Presidium Commons.
Yo.
I rescued those soldiers from Reaper territory.
Excellent work. The Shadow Broker has authorized me to offer you a finder's fee for his guard's safety. And now that our business is concluded, I have to tend to some other engagements. Goodbye, Commander. And may I say, good luck. Selling now would be unwise. I'm aware of what's happening. Offload them into the Motan cluster. And then I'd advise traveling someplace safer.
Welcome to Kanala
See you around.
Exports.
Don't I already have these gauntlets? I thought I already had
Cultivating
these.
Serenity is possible even
I'll
during
take it.
times of crisis.
Some fish?
At Kanala Exports, we believe that a peaceful heart is a strong heart. Welcome to Elkos Combine Arsenal Supplies.
Please visit any of our Elkos Combine affiliate branches for any and all personal needs.
Not gonna just immediately spend all my money until I've checked every shop.
Have you decided how to tell him?
I don't know. A text message is so impersonal. He's off risking his life. He deserves more than that. I could record something, but I hate leaving vid messages. I always get flustered.
Maybe you need a script.
Or maybe I need to get him on a vid call so I can do it face to face.
Who knows when he'll be deployed somewhere with an open comm channel. He knew it'd be hard to communicate when he left you here.
Refugees from Reaper-occupied colonies are being placed in makeshift camps.
Nothing going on back here.
Continues as the Reapers occupy most of Palaven. It appears that Turian forces may lose their planet.
Nothing going on back here either.
He's also offered an invitation to the krogan. Asari intelligence is reporting.
You don't think Sanctuary is real?
Real prefab shelters and cheap nutrient paste, baby. The profit margin must be higher than Hanar's water bills.
How can you think about profits at a time like this?
What's your name, dear?
Sarah?
Sarah, have you ever heard of Elkos Combine?
Sure. Don't they make, everything?
Group Elkos. Pleasure to meet you.
Does he own the company? He sounds familiar.
I can't do this anymore.
I know what you mean. I thought our training prepared us for everything, but this...
Every time that Asari commando sees me, she just starts screaming.
I can even hear it when I'm trying to sleep now. I'm supposed to be helping her, but I feel like I'm breaking her world all over again every time she sees me.
That's not your fault. Any human would probably trigger that reaction for her at this point.
No. I looked up the file on that colony she was at. That girl she keeps talking about? We look alike. I shouldn't even be allowed in to help anymore.
Nice little CSEC office.
Have rapidly expanded into the Gemini Sigma and Voyager clusters.
Welcome to Agor Munitions.
Remember, all purchases made by Welcome to Shepards Armory.
Oh, new pants.
Thank you for shopping at Shepards Armory. Report as AM Trading Limited.
Welcome to the Citadel gift shop. All proceeds from today's purchases go toward the Turian
Oh, that's her.
Welcome to Nosastra Sporting Goods.
A pistol.
Our selections include rare technology upgrades from the Terminus systems.
I can't pass up new weapons.
Oh, I didn't. Well, I just. My husband is risking his life to protect us right now.
I'm so sorry.
About that.
And, I'm so sorry.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. You need to hear this.
Oh, Blue Rose of Helium. If these
Yeah,
humble
this is the
words
same
reach you,
people.
then I have joined my ancestors.
No. No.
My dream was to be by your side, a weed beside your beauty, twining together in the warm Tachanka sun.
Oh, Char.
But if my last days must be with Krant instead of kindness, still I will remember the perfume of your scent and the soft touch of your petals. Let my broken bones build a wall around your garden, so you and the flower we planted together can grow safe and strong.
Thank you. I should... I need to go.
I helped him hook up, and then I'm the one who has to deliver the death notice. God damn. Hi, Joker. Hi, Edie.
Welcome to Casa Fabrication Weaponry.
I got some cheap models here.
For the
Gimme.
best in the business, come to Casa. All goods have been marked down with our special wartime discount.
There's another weapon.
Casa Fabrication Weapon.
Welcome to Casa Fabrication Weaponry.
Were there any lightweight mods? Nothing yet. Nothing like that here.
I
noticed many displays of public affection on the Citadel. The rate seems disproportionately high.
Everybody could die tomorrow, Edie. Hooking up is one of the few things they can do.
I wonder if this is how the Krogan feel.
Okay, are there any other shops I missed? That heating unit must be in that system.
The Volus homeworld, Irun, has fallen to Reaper forces.
Oh, hey, look who it is.
Hey, I remember you. Shepard, right? Heard you're fighting the Reapers.
Matriarch Athena. You were working on Ilium. How'd you end up here?
With the Reapers making noise, I figured it was time to get somewhere safer. So I moved here.
I don't think so. I've seen some video footage of you looking at Liara.
Matriarch Benazia was her mother. And, well, she doesn't know it, but I was her father.
You mean you were her other mother, right?
No, I didn't pop her out. Hell, she's never even met me.
Sorry. If you were human, you'd both be called the mother, regardless of which one gave birth.
Well, I'm not human, am I? Anthropocentric bag of dicks.
Understandable.
Liara would love to meet you.
Why? She doesn't even know me from a hole in the ground. Benazia ran off before the kid was born. Besides, this isn't charity work. She's one of the biggest intel brokers in the galaxy. And she's got some shady connections. Like a human commander that used to work for Cerberus. Sound.
I only worked with Cerberus to fight the Reapers.
And you're not with him now. I know. If you were, you wouldn't get within a light year of Liara.
You make it sound like you'd have a factor in that.
I'm no commando, but I've had 1,000 years to learn to fight dirty. Nobody messes with my girl. Anyway, you combine her work with Benazia and... well, the matriarchs might have ordered a hit. I hadn't agreed to keep an eye on her.
I bet she'd like to meet you.
Yeah. We'll see how that goes.
Cerberus forces have reportedly attacked a Solarian medical facility on Surkesh. Solarian officials have no comment.
The bartender over there?
The matriarch hired by the Asari government to track my movements?
She's your father.
I know.
I never get to surprise you with anything.
I'm a very good information broker.
And you haven't talked to her about spying on you?
If I did that, they might send someone who wasn't as sympathetic to me. Besides, this is hardly the time for family reunions.
Liara.
Oh, fine.
Go talk to your dad.
Refugees from Reaper-occupied colonies are being placed in makeshift camps.
Come on. You can't blame the matriarchs for keeping an eye on you.
I am not my mother.
You did threaten to flay someone alive with your mind.
I had to make them take me seriously. I wasn't going to actually do it. And... you bugged my office on Ilium.
That'd be the logical conclusion. Yeah.
In these troubled times, don't the investors you trust.
Yeah. They're gonna have a good time talking to each other. So did I have anything else? I think we've cleared up just about everything we can. This is clearly something we can't do until later because we don't have access to that system. Been all over it. We didn't find anybody asking for turret schematics. Otherwise, we've cleared up everything that we can so far.
The matriarchs aren't going to do anything to you, especially in the middle of this damn war.
My reports don't show much activity from the Asari military against the Reapers.
Come on, you know how Asari work. Infiltration and sabotage.
But against Reaper forces, that's...
I know. About as useful as tits on a Hanar. Good thing we've got the Turians and the Krogan to do the heavy lifting. Our people just aren't built for the front ranks.
We'll get a little bit more out of these two, then we'll move on, I suppose.
So, yeah. My dad was a Krogan.
Yes, I'm aware of that.
So, that makes you a quarter Krogan.
That's not how it works.
I'm 1,000 years old. I've had kids with Hanar. Don't tell me how Asari reproduction works.
Wait, I have a half-sister who's part Hanar.
I thought that wasn't how it worked.
Colonies are being placed in makeshift camps in the Citadel docking bays.
All All I'm saying is, if you feel the urge to headbutt something, it's genetic.
I have never wanted to headbutt anything.
Really? Not even a little bit? Come on.
I do not headbutt people.
All right, fine. Don't go all blood rage on me.
Or what? You'll tell the other matriarchs to order a hit.
Hey, that's not gonna happen. Nazi and I were together for more than a century.
You loved her?
Of course I loved her. She was so smart. Always thinking. Nice, too. Hell of a lot nicer than I am. Damn, that rack. I mean, even before she hit the matriarch stage.
You don't need to tell me everything.
Nazi was the only one who ever listened to me when I said the Asari were stuck in the past. Only difference was I wanted us to stand on our own. She wanted alliances with the other species.
Is that why?
Why it ended? Nah. Well, maybe. I don't know. Mostly it ended because she wanted to solve things a smart way. I wanted to fight.
Those aren't mutually exclusive.
Yeah. I hear you've racked up quite a body count. But then, you are a quarter krogan.
Now you're doing it on purpose.
Yeah, these two are fun. One more.
She was leaving. Can't be the wise counselor when you're married.
Why not?
Sex appeal. No species only pay attention if they want to have sex with you. So, you have to be available, mysterious.
What? That's not true. Shepard listens to me.
And you're single, aren't you?
You think Shepard is... No. No.
I'm just gonna move on now. Well, alright then.
Welcome to Kanala
Was there something
Exports.
here? No, I already bought that.
Your visit.
Yeah, there's still plenty of little upgrades to buy, and I guess some other armor pieces and stuff might pop up at some point.
Welcome, Commander Shepard. Please, one moment, please.
Yeah, I guess we'll find somebody who wants those turret schematics
Now
later.
arriving at docking bay D24.
Wait a minute. I didn't go talk to Bailey. Hang on a minute. Bailey might want the schematics. Hold on. I must have missed his office.
Commander Shepard. One moment, please. Now arriving at Presidium Embassy.
Forces. Volus refugees are reportedly fleeing to Turian colonies.
Yo, Bailey.
It never rains, but it pours, eh, Shepard?
That bad, huh?
Things here are getting tense. So many refugees. People are walking around eyeballing each other, and we can't keep up with the reports on suspicious behavior.
It'll probably get worse before it gets better, Bailey.
Yeah, if it ever gets better.
Well, I can't think of anyone else on the station I might have missed who I could give any schematics to, so I guess that's that. Suppose someone will pop up later.
Kage has reiterated its support for Council forces and has offered extensive medical and technical support.
Welcome, Commander. One moment, please.
We'll try. I guess we could try to swing by that system,
Now
see if that
arriving
heating
at
unit was
docking
there.
bay D24.
But I think you have to do a mission before the Reapers in an alerted system will go away.
You've got new messages, Commander.
Ah, neat. What do we got? From Cortez. You were right. Good to get off the Normandy and watch the ships go by for a bit. Yeah, see? Very good. Try to do humanity proud as a Spectre. Now I still got a lot to live up to. Yep, I set the bar. From Liara. Shepard, I have already dispatched most of the specialists we recovered to new assignments. I do need the Solarian Tazik and his team to handle a task for me on the Citadel. Please make sure they remain confined to the cargo deck. I do not want them anywhere near me or Glyph. Okay. Wait, so these people are like on the ship? Can I assign them? Wait, what the? That overwrote Jack. Oh no. I overwrote Jack off the menu. No, I want Jack on a ship. Jack, come back. I was gonna replace Kasumi with Grunt.
You've got new messages, Commander.
Yeah. What the? Jack just disappears. I guess that's just a bug in the system. Maybe she'll come back later? Ah, well. Not like I pulled them for missions anyway. Looks like something's updated on the war terminal. Shadow Broker Red Squad. As the new Shadow Broker, Liara Tassoni has the loyalty of her predecessor's assassination squad. A small but lethal team of soldiers called on for the rare occasion when information isn't enough to silence a target. Their methods vary with each mission, from subtle poisonings to bombing entire buildings. The Wet Squad is dedicated to whatever range of destruction the new Broker requires. Dr. Tassoni has put them to work against the Reapers and Cerberus. Probably more useful against Cerberus. And what's going on back here? An update to the 5th Fleet. Krogan power grids are supplying energy to Purgatory, allowing the club to operate as usual, but improving the morale of soldiers on shore leave. Huh? Kind of curious that goes in a specific fleets tab, but all right.
Commander.
Alright, let's see if we can go to that system. If we can't, then we go to Tuchanka, gonna get that cure out. Then after that, since we'll probably have plenty of time, we'll go see about aiding Arya to loot. Also, I didn't see a store for Barria Frontiers on the Citadel. At least I don't think I did. But I could have swore I saw something like that on the ship, where you could gain access to other systems. You know what? Let me go down and check that. I think we could access... Yeah, you access other shops from the shuttle bay. Weapon upgrades, firing range, procurement interface. Mine sack was requisitions. Nostastra sporting goods. Batarian state arms. Kanala, Serta, Casa, Agor. Am I misremembering seeing a thing? I might be. Ah, back to the bridge. Dranik had a fuel thing. I know that. So, can I go back here?
Evasion
Not safe.
successful.
Not safe. Alright, there's a problem there too. Whoop. Well, I guess we're doing this now. What was that heating unit for? I think the Solarians had like eggs, like egg clutches that needed to be heated up for missions and stuff. Hopefully that can wait. That sounds kind of important. Anyway, mission time. Let's cure the Genophage.
All hands, full stop. Hostiles detected at the landing coordinates.
Joker, what have you got?
Sensors show a Reaper parked at the Shroud facility. No way you're gonna be able to land a shuttle there.
Get everyone assembled in the war room. I want eyes on the Shroud.
Aye, aye, sir.
That's a problem.
New form of Reaper, Shepard, using Shroud to poison Tuchanka's atmosphere. Problematic.
They want to fight. They just got one.
Primarch, we're gonna need your help.
That could be difficult. Our losses on Palaven have been catastrophic.
We're doing this for Palaven. No one said it would be easy.
What do you have in mind?
A combined attack. Your people hit the Reaper with an airstrike. Rex, at the same time, your soldiers will be attacking from the ground. Together, you can draw it away from the tower.
Yes, distraction. Small team can reach Shroud facility, finish synthesizing cure. We'll need Eve to come with us.
We've never faced a Reaper up close like this. Everyone on board?
There's even a doubt? Let's move, Pyjack. It's time to cure the Genophage.
Just went to piss before the mission started.
Commander, incoming message marked urgent. I'll put it in the comm room for you.
Oh, what could this be about? Oh, now it's her.
Dalatrus?
Commander Shepard, we know you've reached Tuchanka. And by now, I imagine Mordin Solus has proposed using the Shroud.
Are you spying on us?
Hardly. The Shroud is the only viable course of action open to you. Commander, you can't allow your misguided sympathy for the Krogan to cloud your judgment. Do you honestly believe curing the Genophage will end in lasting peace?
We have to give the Krogan that chance. You can't condemn an entire race to extinction based on what might happen.
What will happen is the Krogan will reproduce out of control. We uplifted them specifically for their violent nature, not their diplomatic skills. Another war is inevitable.
What do you want, Dalatrus?
Years ago, our operatives sabotaged the Shroud facility to ensure what you are planning couldn't be done. Mordin will likely detect this malfunction and repair it. But if you ensure that he doesn't, then the cure's viability will be altered just enough so that it fails. No one will notice the change.
You mean trick the Krogan?
They need not be any the wiser. Let Erdnot Rex believe you fulfilled your promise.
Mordin would never stand for that.
How you deal with him is up to you, Commander. We can provide you our very best scientists to build the Crucible, and the full support of our fleets.
If I sabotage the cure.
Think about it, Commander. The choice is yours.
Consider my choice made. Fuck you. I piss upon your subterfuge. I like how... What, Rex? I don't have Rex on my roster. What? I'm a little confused by that, but alright. Let's see. Who are we taking on this? I want Garrus. And... Right, I promised I'd break James along for the big mission. He said he wanted to go, you know? I got some new pieces parts. Arsenal provides weapon and headshot damage. Anketter is just about more weapon damage. Kind of like the lighter armor look. Kind of favors the engineer feel. This one comes with extra butt protection. Alright. You know, I'll go with this. We got the Han Kedar Ariake combo. Hopefully we find more armor pieces as we go on. Now for weapons. We got a new pistol, so let's check that out. Designed for Asari resistance, the Acolyte's barrel fires advanced ammunition similar to that of an impact-triggered resonant warp bomb, which has a devastating effect on shields and biotic barriers. The specialized nature of the warp field means it does not pierce armor as effectively, but the shooter's biotics are expected to make up for this shortcoming. Well, that kind of makes it sound like it's not meant for me, because I don't have any biotics. But hey, if it's supposed to be charged into the weapon, well, I want to see how it functions. Capacity's pretty light. Have I even used the Locust yet? Looks like I have. I have upgrades in it. Probably got what they want. Alright, I'm gonna replace my drink. Be right back. And the mission begins. Alrighty. Alright, we gotta select stuff too. Armor piercing was kind of Garrus's thing before, so we'll upgrade that further. Pop him up a little on overload since we got the points for that. Alright, we go.
I've ordered the clans to assemble at the Hollows. It's our sacred meeting ground. We'll land there and take an armored convoy against the Reaper. This will be the defining moment of Krogan history.
Krogan history filled with defining moments, most bloody. Hope this one better.
Commander, you seem troubled.
I got a message from them.
Rex, it's Reeve. The Reapers are already at the Hollows. Come out with guns blazing.
Hang on tight. We're heading in.
Reeve, huh?
Shepard, keep them away from the female. I'll sort out what's happening with the other clans.
Everyone pick your targets and keep an eye on our six. Now move! Watch it, incoming! Push forward. Don't let him get up here.
Shepard, it's ugly over here. Whatever you do, keep them away from the female.
Reminds me of the mess on Palaven. Understood. We're not done yet. More on the way. Affirmative.
Get up there where you can do some better sniping.
We almost got them all.
They'll sing battle songs about this someday. Reaper blood has finally soaked our soil.
We have to get to the Shroud. The airstrike is on its way.
Female safe, Shepard. Vitals are strong.
What's a Solarian doing here? Nobody said anything about this.
Multiple krogan. Problematic.
Who are you?
Erdnot Reeve, brood brother to our illustrious leader. Reeve and I share the same mother, and nothing else. For which I'm thankful. I remember what it means to be a true krogan.
He's got some blood pack boys with him.
Drown them in a geyser of their own blood. We don't invite them into our home.
There's no time for this. Whatever grudge you have against Solarians ends right now.
As long as it involves a bullet in his head, time for some payback. Stand down, Reeve. The Solarian is with me.
Enough!
Kind of cool to see the Krogan interacting like this. You don't get anything like this in the other games.
Let old wounds fester as krogan have always done. Or you can fight the enemy you were born to destroy and win a new future for our children. I choose to fight. Who will join me?
I will.
And so will I. Now hold your heads high like true krogan. There's a Reaper that needs killing!
Alright. Reeve is interesting. If Rex doesn't survive the previous games, then Reeve ends up being the one you talk to in 2. Yeah, I get to see these things move.
Copy that, Artemech. We're on our way, trying to make up lost time. Shepard out.
Reed isn't the only krogan who wants revenge for the Genophage, Rex. You'll have to placate them somehow.
I'll demand the Council return some of our old territory. We'll need room to expand. Recapture the glory of the Ancients.
Glory of Ancients led to krogan rebellions, countless deaths, creation of Genophage. Expansion plan, problematic.
What were the ancient krogan like?
Tachanka wasn't always a wasteland. In the old times, the krogan were a proud people. We had dreams, a future to look forward to.
Until Solarian interference?
No, we destroyed Tachanka ourselves. Technology changed us. It made life too easy. So we looked for new challenges, and found them in each other. Nuclear war was inevitable.
But now our planet is rubble. We'll need a better place to live.
I'd say helping defeat the Reapers would be worth a new planet.
Or 10. You haven't seen how fast we can pop them out.
Rex.
What? With the Genophage cured, we'll have a lot of catching up to do.
Commander, on the shuttle, was there something you were going to say?
I thought I put a mod in that cleaned up this visor a bit. It still looks kind of cluttered.
The Dalatraz tried to cut a secret deal with me.
What kind of deal?
She said they sabotaged the Shroud years ago. The cure won't work unless we fix it.
Years ago, our operatives sabotaged the Shroud facility to ensure what you're planning couldn't be done.
Recorded.
And she thought we wouldn't know better?
Correctly. Would likely have fooled tests, but familiar with STG work, can adjust. Did not come this far for nothing.
You just spared our race another genocide, Commander.
That's what I've been trying to do this whole time.
I told you we could count on him. Why are we stopping?
Alright, what's good? What's the holdup? I love the look of these big things. Keep seeing that those round things in the distance. I keep thinking they're Ferris wheels.
Rex, you and Morden stay with Eve. It's looking ugly out here.
Oh, damn, nearly ran me over.
Get moving. dangerous stopping like this.
Look at that Reaper. It's the end of the world out there.
Ooh, that's new.
And remember to bring it back when you're done, human.
Will do. He actually commented me picking up his gun.
And stays in the truck, human.
He will go where he is needed.
This combustion manifold isn't going.
Shepard, we need to find out what's holding us up.
Okay.
Reapers are bigger than I thought.
Just a whole bunch of shit lying around.
How are we supposed to fight a war without a road? Not good, not good at all. I'll bet the Solarians don't have this kind of problem.
Why does he have two talking points? Why does he have one on his ass?
What's the holdup?
Road's out. The convoy can't make it through.
Turian Wing Artemec, this is Shepard. We've been delayed. Hold off your attack.
Negative, Commander. Our approach is locked. The Reaper already knows we're here.
Oh, god damn it.
An airstrike alone won't do it. We have to get in that fight.
Damn it. I don't care if we have to build a new road. We're going. Oh, shit! I've lost control! I can't pull up!
Shepard, what's happening?
Rex, get the female out of here now! Go! Artemec, do you copy?
You to report, Commander. That Reaper's tearing us to pieces.
Understood. Save your pilots. We'll find another way.
Shepard, a tunnel over there. Maybe a way off.
Get to it!
Woohoo!
Rex, are you receiving this? Is everyone okay?
Yeah, just scratches. Nothing the Solarian can't patch up. Reeves' truck made it out too.
The Turians had to call off the airstrike. We'll need a new plan for dealing with the Reaper.
First we'll have to find you. Where did you end up?
Underground. We see ruins of some kind.
Commander, that's the city of the ancients.
Felt like a tremor.
How do we get out?
No maps exist. It's been abandoned for thousands of years.
You're a trailblazer, Shepard. Get through there and we'll find a place to meet up. Nothing will stop this cure.
This thing has extremely limited amount of ammo. Ah. Okay, that's a sheer drop. Krogan battle hammer. Yeah, I'll just take that.
Well, I guess the Krogan could paint once upon a time.
The nuclear war has a way of erasing the past.
I like the art style.
There it is again. That didn't feel like a tremor to me.
Rex, are you guys feeling these tremors?
Not up here.
It could be something else, Commander. It is said that Kalros, the mother of all Thresher Maws, lives in this region.
Which is another reason to get your ass out of there, Shepard. Step on it.
So, do I really want to know who Kalros, the mother of all Thresher Maws, is?
When the Krogan name a Thresher Maw, you know you're in trouble. They don't think anyone's ever going to kill it. I'm on it.
This ain't actually sniper territory, so get your rifle out.
Wild guess says that's Calros.
That's what's crawling around down here?
Stands to reason. The coloration and, like, shape of the stone of these ruins kind of gives me, it gives me, Dwemer Ruins vibes. Specifically, the Skyrim type, because they looked a hell of a lot different in Morrowind. Uh-oh.
Looks like the Rachni again.
There are bound to be more than just the ones we killed. Rex, we've got Rachni here. Keep an eye out.
I know. A few of them just attacked us. All that matters is getting to that shroud. Find us fast.
Looks like light ahead. Now, this is new. Part of Chachanka that isn't rubble.
Makes you wonder what the Krogan could have been if they hadn't nuked the place.
Well, they've got some decent sense of aesthetics. Sometimes you just find a good way to sit, and it works for a while. Then all of a sudden it's just like, nope, need to move my legs.
Rex, we made it back outside.
Well, if you can see sunlight, that's progress.
And green. I didn't think plants grew here anymore.
You're looking at hope, all that's left of it on Chachanka. This is once a world full of beauty. Given a chance, it can be again.
Shepard, that Reaper is still up to no good at the Shroud. Find a way out of there and we'll pick you up.
We're on it.
Love to know how we're going to deal with the Reaper when we get there.
Man, yeah, this place looks great. I mean, you know, other than the ruins.
I never knew the Krogan had this in them. Maybe Eve has a point. Curing the Genophage might work out after all.
And if she's wrong?
Ahead, we've got movement!
Back into the frying pan!
Man, this is awful. They keep running out of cover to try to eat the bodies.
Another quake!
That had to be Calros.
Ah, shit.
Stay sharp!
Yeah, I'll need to read the description of that pistol again, because it's so slow and it doesn't feel like it's doing anything. Where am I going? This is where I'm going.
It's not over yet!
And the sound of this weapon isn't as abrasive as it used to be.
Watch it, we've got one of the big ones.
And he brought bread!
Got them all, for now.
They really got stuck on the wreck down there. Good shooting, boys. Yeah, this pistol ain't cutting it for me.
Shepard, how's it coming?
We're still in the ruins.
Get a move on. Dead Reaper hasn't moved.
Rex,
the sky
right
is
above
looking
Calvert.
worse.
She's on the move.
Yeah, we've got some ideas on that.
Not now, Rex. The commander has enough to worry about.
What's happening?
Some crazy idea we can talk about later. Just worry about getting out of there right now.
Yeah, that's why I always stop to listen. If you go too fast, too far, you either cut people off or they start overlapping each other.
The party isn't over yet!
Looks like we got a bridge up ahead. Try to find it, and we'll pick you up there.
We're a little preoccupied right now.
I didn't say it would be easy.
Those ones just stuck over there?
I hate these guys!
Oh god. Whoa. Get up here. Ow.
Shepard, we're coming under the bridge. Get down here and we can get to the shroud. Wait, Calros!
Rex?
Break off! We're getting out of here!
Territorial instinct confirmed.
She's not gonna get us.
Holy shit.
Go on ahead, Shepard. We'll try to shake this thing and find you.
Pressure mark getting closer.
Tell me something I don't know.
Metal in truck and excellent iron supplement for Mars diet.
Now
Thank you,
I'm
Morden.
glad we're not in the truck.
And the thing is, I bet Rex is enjoying this.
Erdnot Darg to Chief Scout. Darg. Wasn't that the one we... You know, we gave a good kick in the pants when we invaded that... The whatchamacallit compound? Werelock. No, that means he's here and he's dead. Damn it. Report 1. I see the Reaper, holding position at the hammers. No sign of other forces. Report 2, I have been discovered. Marauding creatures from the belly of the Reaper. I led them to Clixon Pit, heading to the memorial for higher ground. Report 3, they tracked me across the wastes. I killed many weak ones. Then a new sort that stinks of old danger. Some burning pain is not felt since... Such burning pain is not felt since Werlock captured me. Yeah, it's him. I won't be taken again. I make my stand here, with my rifle and the Ancients. Aw, man. Well. There goes another we knew.
Now where do you suppose we are?
Looks like a memorial.
Heads up! They're back!
I'm on it.
What the hell? Oh my god. Woo!
Yeah.
Rex is in a...
Doing what we can. What about you?
Alarmed yet entertained. Calros is quite persistent.
Stay close. Run faster. I can smell the damn thing's breath.
Okay, that was something. The extra health and shield strength is definitely proving its worth. Where am I going? This way.
Shepard, we've almost lost Calros. Get down from there and we'll find you.
Another upgrade. Alright, getting down.
Shepard, get over here. Reeve, keep an eye out for that Moloch. I don't want it sneaking up on us. Make it quick, Rex. We're exposed.
Move it!
Oh, he's in back.
It's Calros. Move, Shepard.
We're in. Go!
What about Reeve?
No way he survived that. And he was a pain in the ass anyway. Now let's finish this. There's a Reaper waiting for us.
Maybe we lead the Thresher up to the big fella.
I hope somebody has a plan B.
I know we've beaten the odds before. But getting to that tower, I don't know.
We're curing the Genophage no matter what it takes. Everything my people will ever be depends on it.
Then I hope this idea you were talking about is a good one.
It was hers, actually.
Calros. We summon her to the Reaper.
Would that even work?
Already discussed strategy. Just need to distract Reaper. Draw it from tower while Cure synthesized, released.
What makes you so sure she'll come?
Legends say she is the mother from which all other Thresher Maws spawn. This is as much her home as ours.
If Tuchanka has a temper, Kalros is it. Nobody's ever faced her and survived.
I've taken some risks in my time, but this seems crazy.
And going head-to-head with Sovereign didn't? This is the only way to get to that tower and release the cure. There's no other choice.
But how would we summon her?
The tower was built in an arena devoted to Kalros' glory. The Solarians thought she would scare away intruders.
Appears to have worked.
There are 2 Maw hammers there, the largest in existence. If you can activate them, Kalros will come. That should distract the Reaper.
Meanwhile, laboratory nearby. We'll finish synthesizing Cure.
Let's make sure we all get out of here alive. We're gonna have one hell of a story to tell.
Wait! I want you to know that no matter what happens, you've been a champion to the Krogan people, a friend of Clan Erdnot, and a brother to me. To every Krogan born after this day, the name Shepard will mean hero!
Hell yeah!
Now, let's show them why.
Hell yeah.
Go! I've got this. I am Erdnot Rex, and this is my planet!
See you on the other side.
Stay alive, Shepard. We'll have Cure ready.
Let's get in there!
We're kind of busy, Rex.
Lucky for you, I'm here. I'll handle it.
Anything tucked away back here? Not a phalanx.
Shepard, some luck. Original strain in storage. Preparing the Cure now.
Make it quick, Morton. They're all over us out here.
Holy shit! Off to the left!
Woo! Ow.
Everyone all right?
Fine here. Mostly.
Just got shot by a Reaper.
Consider that practice.
Understood.
Okay, Shepard. I raised the hammers. You have to activate both of them. My advice is avoid the giant laser.
Good advice.
You've got to be kidding!
Just keep moving. Stick to cover.
I'm not sure cover's going to work.
Work.
Are we really doing this?
Don't stop!
Yes. The fighter's back?
Commander, this is Artemic Wing. We'll try to give that Reaper something else to shoot at.
I knew they wouldn't give up.
Now that's some goddamn balls.
Go! Let's push ahead!
On our left, one of the hammers!
Second one's on the right.
Getting to them's gonna be the trick!
Whoa, what the?
This is crazy!
Ow.
Mort, we hit the first hammer. How's it coming?
Almost half cure. Eve's vital signs dropping. Trying to compensate. Second hammer's on the other side.
Oh shit. Woohoo! Ow.
Get that second hammer going.
There's a Reaper in my way, Rex.
Okay, yeah, these guys suck. Too many. Ow.
Go. Get back to the truck. I'll take care of the cure.
We probably could have killed all of them. They were dropping a lot on us. All right, Calros is on the case. Up right up from underneath, or go for the back. Oh, is it getting pulled under? Yeah. Nice. I don't like that it's exploding.
Mort, is the cure ready?
Yes, loaded for dispersal in 2 minutes. Procedure traumatic for Eve, but not lethal. Malin's research invaluable.
She's okay?
Headed to safety now. Her survival fortunate. Will stabilize new government should Rex get any ideas. Good match. Promising future for Krogan.
Damn!
Control room at top of Shroud Tower. Must take elevator up.
You're going up there?
Yes, manual access required. Have to counteract STG sabotage. Ensure cure dispersed properly.
Morton, this whole thing is coming apart. There's got to be another way.
Remote bypass impossible. STG countermeasures in place. No time to adjust cure for temperature variance. No other option. Not coming back. Suggest you get clear. Explosion likely to be problematic.
Morton, no!
Shepard, please. Need to do this. My project, my work, my cure. My responsibility. Would have liked to run tests on the seashells.
I'm sorry.
I'm not. Had to be me. Someone else might have gotten it wrong.
Elevator looks kind of funky.
Warning, temperature malfunction detected.
I studied species Turian, Asarian, Batarian.
Temperature now within acceptable range. Dispersal commencing.
My Science studies range from urban to agrarian. I am the very model of...
Damn.
A long time ago, my father betrayed me in this place. His own son. He tried to kill me, so I had to kill him. Right over there. That's what the Genophage reduced us to. Animals. But you changed that today, Shepard.
Now we'll fight for our children, not against them. It's just a pity Morden had to die.
He wouldn't have had it any other way. And I'm sure wherever he is, he's putting in a good word for us.
We'll name one of the kids after him. Maybe a girl.
But you, Commander, we can thank you in person.
Tell the Turians I'll be deploying troops to Palaven immediately. And when you're ready to kick the Reapers off Earth, you let me know. The Krogan are back in business.
Goodbye, Commander.
What will you do now?
Spread the hope you've given us. Even now, there are clans gathering in the Kelphic Valley. I'll go speak to them and make sure this gift isn't squandered. Thank you for all that you've done. And know that Urdnot Bakara calls you a friend.
Cool. He's kind of standing back there.
Hell of a thing you just pulled off, Commander. Curing the Genophage? I never thought I'd see the day.
Rex has agreed to help the Turians, Admiral. We should get their full support.
I take it that leaves the Solarians out of the equation.
The cost of their support was too high, sir.
Well, I'll defer to your judgment on that, Commander. Let's hope we don't need them. Hackett, out.
We still got some Solarian support. We just don't have full Solarian support.
Commander, Urdnot Rex has begun sending troops to Palaven. You kept your end of the bargain, and now I'll keep mine. The Turian hierarchy will stand with humanity against the Reapers.
I'm glad we can help each other out. It's the only way we're going to defeat the Reapers.
That much is certain. To that end, several dry dock ships are ready to help build the Crucible. Garrus will coordinate them.
Yes, sir.
And when the time comes to deploy it, the full measure of our fleet will be there for Earth. May the spirits watch over us all.
I'll start managing Turian support right away, Shepard. You must be exhausted. Morden dying, it can't be easy.
I'll sleep when I'm dead.
We both know you need a clear head to win a war. There's no room for mistakes here. You should catch some shut-eye. I'll make sure Joker doesn't launch any suicide missions.
Much appreciated.
Anything happens, you let me know.
Yes, I'm gonna go take a nap.
Screw that. I can hold them off. Go back and get Alenko. You know it's the right choice, LT.
And more of the dream nonsense. I wasn't even asleep. I was sitting in my chair. Just dozed off.
It's open.
Who dat?
Shepard, there's something you need to hear.
All right.
Is this a bad time?
Thinking of some friends who aren't around thanks to this war.
That's thanks to the Reapers, not you. Are you thinking about anyone in particular?
Ashley, back on Vermeer. She gave her life stopping Sovereign.
I'm thinking about Ashley. I think should be thinking
What she'd
about
make
Morden.
of fighting a whole fleet of Reapers.
If I had to guess, Ashley would call it target practice.
Yeah. Sounds like her. Didn't you have something for me?
The Solarian Counselor has an urgent matter.
Let me guess. He called the comm room?
The Council must be taking the Crucible seriously. I'll see you downstairs.
More Solarians.
Commander, there is something we should discuss, if you are finished rewriting history.
I made my decision, Counselor. There's not much anyone can do about it now.
Yes. We're going to have billions more Krogan in the galaxy. It's a good thing you saved my life once, Shepard. Otherwise, well, I have concerns about
He's looking really old.
Representative, Councilor Udina. My agents have discovered that he's using his authority to move vast sums of money. For what purpose? We're not sure.
Well, he seems genuinely worried about a whole Earth situation. Could be to fund more stuff there.
If Adina's dirty, it's best we get to the bottom of it fast.
Agreed. Come to the Citadel. We will review the evidence and discuss this in private. Valorn out.
First time ever to hear his name spoken.
Admiral Hackett's available on VidCom.
We got Hackett now? Alright.
Commander Shepard, something you need to talk about?
I thought you need... Well, I guess we'll ask for progress?
Do you know how the other races are doing against the Reapers?
Believe it or not, the Turians and Krogan actually seem to be getting along. Urdnot Rex has deployed troops, and they're giving the Reapers a moment of pause. The Solarians are still hanging on to Sirkesh, but the Reapers are starting to breathe down their necks, too.
What about the Asari?
They have to be feeling the heat. The Reapers are moving fast with the obvious intent of taking Thessia. Interestingly, the Reapers are leaving Parnak alone. It's the Yogg homeworld.
Can't say that I blame them. Yogg have teeth.
Well, if we lose this war, it might be them running the next cycle. It's easy to forget the Reapers don't destroy every species.
Just the ones who can threaten them.
Yeah, well... Yeah, without the rest of us keeping them down, the Yogg, yeah, that's not good.
Have we heard anything from the Quarians or Geth?
Something might be brewing near the Geth border, but our intel is sketchy. News is getting harder to come by as things get worse.
Any word on the Volus and Elcor?
The Turians and the Krogan sent forces to the Volus homeworld, Irun. It might not be enough, but at least they've got Reaper forces bogged down in a nasty ground war. As for Elcor, they're still in the fight, though our projections show the Reapers encroaching on their territory soon.
I have to imagine the Elcor, with how big and probably very strong they are, they could carry a lot of heavy weaponry, and you could fit a lot of armor on them, too.
Do you know anything about the Hanar and Drell?
Their luck is holding. For now, the Reapers have avoided a direct invasion of that sector. Though we've heard Drell wetwork teams are mobilizing fast to shore up their border with the Solarians.
I knew it, Drell. The Reapers don't want to tangle with them. What happened to the Batarians?
Never stood a chance, hit by the Reapers straight out of the gate. And without any allies to call on, I think the Batarians are history.
Shame.
What about the extra help we've picked up along the way?
The Krogan and Turians have obviously been a big help. Urdnot Rex running the show is a bonus for us. And that female Krogan you rescued is rallying more support from the other clans. I'm glad you disabled that bomb on Tachanka. We could have lost a lot of Krogan support as it is. We picked up some Turian troops.
Good to hear. How about the Solarians?
Interesting wrinkle. We've been getting back-channel commitments from the strike teams within STG. They're promising to back us.
Even after I cured the Genophage?
Our intel suggests there are cracks developing between the military and the politicians. These STG guys know the score. They're not going to jeopardize the entire Solarian Union just because some Delatras didn't get her way.
Damn right.
What about the Rachni?
I wouldn't have believed it, but the Rachni are helping us build the Crucible.
You're kidding.
Turns out they have a knack for weapons of mass destruction. In hindsight, I guess they'd know a thing or two about waging a galactic war.
No problems with them then?
Other than scaring the hell out of our engineers, no. Not a lot of small talk going on there.
Shame.
What's our state of readiness, Admiral?
I won't lie, Shepard. We're bogged down. Things aren't looking good in most sectors. We need to increase the tempo and chalk up some wins, otherwise this won't end well for the human race. Or any race.
Nothing more, sir.
Keep me posted. Hack it out.
I guess just call him for an update, huh? We'll probably end the stream with a bunch of codex readings, and from that point on, I think we're going to read codex entries as we get them. They kind of just build up too much. Oh, hell yeah, look at that. Massive score with the Krogans. Or not Rex. Oh no, we did have Krogan assets on the war list. I forgot about that. Urdnot Rex fought alongside Commander Shepard during the Reaper's first invasion attempt in 2183. Afterwards, he returned to Tuchanka and spent the following years rising to the leadership of his clan. Championing progressive methods meant to strengthen the Krogan as a whole. Conservative elements were unhappy, but news of a successfully cured Genophage has solidly united all of Tuchanka under Rex's command. Hailed not only as a great warrior, but a savior, the Krogan will follow Urdnot Rex into the maws of the Reapers themselves. Bitchin'. 300 points for the Krogan clans. Centuries of Krogan infighting abruptly halted with the news of a cure for the Genophage. With their future restored, Tuchanka's clans have united in a show of force not seen since the Rachni War. The clans have also been stockpiling weapons of mass destruction for decades. Thankfully, their full destructive force can now be turned on the Reapers instead of Tuchanka. Their strength, size, and regenerative powers make the Krogan ideal shock troops. Clan Urdnot just gets a full 300 points all on their own. Clan Urdnot has become the unofficial but uncontested representative body of Krogan power to the rest of the galaxy. Within the past decade, Urdnot's warriors have either absorbed or wiped out clans Nakmor, Jordan, Quash, and even the legendarily ferocious clan Rake. The discovery of a fertile Urdnot female rallied even more Krogan, regardless of affiliation to Urdnot's banner. And we got a bunch of mercenaries coming in. Many Krogan went fortune-seeking out in the lawless Terminus systems. Their imposing bulk and infamous brutality won them prized positions as bodyguards and mercenaries. When news of a Genophage cure spread, these drifters were contacted by their clans and urged to join Shepard's forces against the Reapers. After centuries of aimless brawls and bleak futures, Krogan everywhere are heeding the call. Nice. And plenty of updates with the Turians. What do we got? The 43rd Marine Division, founded during the ancient unification wars that rocked Palaven over 2,000 years ago. The 43rd maintains relations with other Council races, running joint training exercises with Asari, Solarian, and more recently, Alliance military forces. Knowing how their allies fight has become an asset, as the 43rd's troops have the discipline and experience to integrate into any army on any battlefield. The Turian 7th Fleet was assigned the privilege and burden of guarding the Crucible during the weapons construction and deployment. The fleet flies constant surveillance around the massive device, coordinating with Alliance security patrols and VI-run counterintelligence programs. 7th Fleet knows what it would cost the galaxy if the Reapers breach their defenses. Every vessel's captain is prepared to make the ultimate sacrifice if it ensures the Crucible's safety. And recovering, the legendary banner of the 1st Regiment lifted the spirits of overworked Turian forces. Nice. In a society where the military is synonymous with the government, the Turian Engineering Corps is responsible for everything from maintaining sidewalks to creating spaceports. Their fame spread beyond Palaven after they helped repair the damage done to the Citadel by Sovereign in record time. TEC engineers view the Crucible as the greatest challenge of their career, and have sped up the building process with their expertise and equipment. Yeah. If I find some way to get Arlac Company in here, I'll do it, but it is absolutely silly that they were removed, like, the way they were. And don't got our congregation of guards anymore.
Anthony, you see the vids of the Maw taking down the Reaper? Man, I wish I could have been there.
I'm just glad the diplomats are off the ship. A Krogan and a Turian in the same room is a fight waiting to happen.
Commander, Cerberus has attacked a comm facility on Ontaron. I've updated the galaxy map. The Turians have given us top-level access to their combat data. Their ships are already moving in to help the Alliance fleet. You actually secured a Krogan-Turian alliance. It's one thing to hear about Commander Shepard. It's another to see him in action.
Yeah, I kind of do some cool stuff every once in a while.
Commander?
What's going on in the email? Check the email. Okay, there's a header for an email for you. Shepard, making babies again will be fun. Soon as this war is over, let's just say I'll do my part to build our numbers back up. Oh, Rex. You really came through for us. I'm proud to call you my friend. Eve is in the Kelphic Valley enlisting support from the other clans and spreading the word. She's going to be a great leader. Most of the males won't like me sharing power with her, but too bad. I run the show. We're off to save the Turians now, since apparently they forgot how to hold a gun. Oh, this is from Shiala. I don't know if you've seen the articles, but the people of Zoo's Hope are fighting again. This time it's the Reapers instead of the Geth. I'm not sure if you remember me. I remember. But you helped me back on Ilium. The Thorian is dead now, I can confirm that, but the spores in our bodies remain, and on some level, we are still connected. This is not necessarily a bad thing. As we fight back the Reapers, we feel each other and act with one mind, ignoring pain when the need arises. I'm sure I'm still indoctrinated. I remember Sovereign's voice in my mind when I went willingly to the Thorian as its thrall, but my connection to the people of Zoo's Hope is stronger. It drowns out the Reaper voices. The situation is imperfect and dangerous. Perhaps the colonists should separate for their own safety, but with one mind, the untrained fight with the skill of veteran commandos. Okay, I kind of tripped over that. But with one mind, the untrained fight with the skill of veteran commandos. Our force is strong. I have not forgotten how you helped us, how you spared me. We are leaving Pharaoh soon, and when the time comes, we will fight with you. Nice. I get to see this bitch's final words. Commander, I am deeply disappointed by your actions on Tuchanka. As I thought I made clear, curing the Genophage will have long-term consequences. Once the Reaper threat is past, our combined forces will be so depleted that no race in the galaxy will be capable of stopping a resurgent Krogan. Moreover, the Krogan will undoubtedly seek revenge for the Genophage, and the Solarian Union will be among their first targets. When that day comes, Commander, the blood of my people will be on your hands. Yeah. I'm ashamed to also learn that our own scientist sacrificed his life carrying out your orders. Technically, he didn't carry out my orders. He was doing his own thing. This is a dark day not only for my people, but for all of galactic civilization. And we never heard from her again. Rest in peace, Bozo. From Edie, I made the necessary preparations regarding Krogan support, although the long-term issues remain. Okay. Summoning the mother of all Thresher Maws? You never make it dull, do you? Just wish we had all come home. Yeah. Gares. General Corinthus. When you first arrived on Manet, I had a hard time seeing how you flying off with one of our best generals would benefit our fight against the Reapers. However, as I now watch Turian and Krogan fighters working together to take down a Reaper destroyer, I must admit I am impressed. You brokered an alliance that many thought impossible. Palaven might be saved after all. with great respect. Yes. Jessica Frome? My name is Jessica Frome. You saved my life on Benning. I've lost so many friends in all this, but I find hope in the idea that their memory lives on in me. I know I'm just one woman, but I wanted to let you know you're making a real difference. Okay. Okay, something forwarded from Hackett from a Byung-Soo Tae. Probably mispronounced that. As requested, Project Crucible's embedded counterintelligence personnel have reviewed all security procedures. Broadly, these are as follows. Strategic Division of Labor, adapting STG Cerberus Operational Protocol. Supply line obfuscation via unaffiliated front organizations. Two-factor biometric access tracing. Routine psychological screening for stress and/or Reaper indoctrination. Tripping over words. We believe these measures are effectively limiting the risk of sabotage to Project Crucible by Cerberus sleepers and indoctrinated personnel. A hostile agent could infiltrate a single labor unit to acquire intelligence and hamper production. However, the risk posed to the project as a whole is limited by each unit's ignorance of the other's activities. Additionally, any attempt to circumvent operational security are flagged by access tracing protocols. As you know, several service operatives have already been apprehended this way. Good. In my opinion, personnel whose duties require access beyond a single unit's purview, e.g. Doctors Locke, Holloway, and Lau, myself and other liaison officers, are the project's main vulnerability. Keeping all of us on site until the Crucible's deployment was a good first step, but round-the-clock monitoring of our activities would best ensure project security. I've spoken to Dr. Locke about this, and while he thinks living in a fishbowl will impact long-term morale, he's confident the team will unanimously consent to this measure. They all know what's at stake. The Turian dry dock fleet affords us an opportunity to routinely move the Crucible, reducing the chance of direct assault. I have attached a proposal for your review that minimizes impact on the project's timetable. Alright. Damn nature. Hell of a thing down there. Glad the Thresher Maw's on our side, huh? And we got news. Alliance News Network. New article on Reaper. Pharos. A group of colonists on Pharos have mounted a defense against arriving Reaper forces, holding them back long enough for civilians from nearby colonies to escape. The informal militia of Zoo's Hope, said to be survivors of a savage Geth attack several years ago, have repelled the initial Reaper landing attempts with a level of wartime competence more common to seasoned platoons. The colonies are using improvised weapons as well as supplies salvaged from a defunct exogeny facility. This colony is our home, colony spokesperson Elizabeth Bainham said. We've survived worse, and we know how to fight together. The colony is expected to have time for full evacuation before more Reaper forces arrive. Neat. I don't know why I'm looking in here. I doubt there's anything new. Yeah, I guess Jack's not coming back to the list. Also, I could have swore we had a thing to put Grunt on board. I mean, I'm happy to have Rex, but, you know, I could have swore it was Grunt when I saw it before. Whatever. $30 points. The Asari Shiala was rescued by Commander Shepard from the Thorian on Zoo's Hope. Now she leads a militia of Zoo's Hope colonists, waging a surprisingly effective campaign against encroaching Reapers. Shiala suspects the group's prior connection to the Thorian gives their soldiers an uncanny ability to sense one another, allowing them to think and act as one in battle. The long-term consequences of this connection are unknown, but for now at least, its effects are helping the cause. Cool. Alright, let's take a look around.
All right, my turn. What's the first order an Alliance commander gives at the start of combat?
I give up.
Correct.
All right, big guy. What do you call it when a Turian gets killed by a horrible spiky monster?
Friendly fire. Come on, that one goes back to Shang-Chi.
How you gotta respect the classics?
How many humans does it take to activate a dormant mass relay?
602. 600 to vote on it, 1 to ask the Asari for technical help, and 1 to request a seat on the council afterward. How do you know when a Turian's out of ammo?
He switches to the stick up his ass as a backup weapon. Why does the Alliance hire pilots with brittle bone disease?
You're shitting me! The Turian military has one about me?
Oh, absolutely. I heard it myself from a private back on Palaven.
All right, why does the Alliance hire pilots with brittle bone disease?
So their Marines can beat someone in hand-to-hand drills.
Damn, you need to tell James that one. Hey, what's the hardest part about treating a Turian who took a rocket to one side of his face?
Figuring out which side took the rocket.
Yeah, these boys are having fun. Edie is absent.
Never thought I'd see the Krogan and the Turians team up. Even the Reapers have to be a little nervous about pissing them off.
I'd say more than a little.
I'm sorry about Morden.
He was a good man.
Yeah, he was always running those tests. One time he tagged me in the middle of the night to ask how many livers humans had. And this bump on my elbow? He said it was just a mild bone deformation, but I'm pretty sure he stuck a probe in there.
Glad it was just your elbow.
I always thought he was crazy. Useful, but crazy. Then he gives up his own life.
To save the Krogan. Doesn't do much to disprove the crazy theory, huh?
I guess not. But he was one of ours.
So now that we got the Krogan and the Turians, what now?
The Krogan help us turn the tide on Palaven. They can shoot at something useful for a change.
Dig till we hit daylight, huh? Works for me.
So how does it feel knowing Krogan will be singing songs about you until the end of time? I think it would be an honor.
There's enough misery in this universe. It's nice to see something go right for a change.
Can't say I've ever really witnessed history in the making like this. Well, except for Sovereign attacking the Citadel, and then there was the Collector base, but this one felt good. And let's hope Rex keeps running the show on Tuchanka. Maybe we should hire a food taster for him. Imagine the carnage if someone like that brother of his, Reeve, took over.
It could happen.
I know, it's a chance we have to take, but I have to say, if it wasn't my own world that needed the help, I might have taken that Solarian deal.
Well, as we discussed, if Rex dies in the first game, then Reeve is in charge in the second.
I could never bring myself to do that, no matter what I was offered.
I admire your restraint, Shepard. It's nice when we can save the galaxy without destroying another race along the way.
Let's hope our luck holds.
Commander?
I wonder where all the Krogan will live now. I've never seen what you'd call a house on Tuchanka. I wonder where all the Krogan will live now. I've never seen what you'd call a house on Tuchanka.
No reason they couldn't build them there. But it sounds like they want to find a nicer place to rebuild. And you know, everyone's worried about them outbreeding, but I feel like there's a solution to that problem, is that, you know, they'll probably fuck a lot at first, and then once they've built up respectable numbers to start building a new society, they can slow down. Sounds like their women are sensible if they're like Eve. They'd probably understand that if they just get pregnant all the time, it's going to cause problems again. So I feel like there's an easy solution there. Well, maybe not easy, but I feel like it would work. Just gotta not fuck so much. Yeah. They move the names around. Morden should be at near the... Yeah, but there's his name. It's on the left. You know, it would have been funny if you found out that... Remember you get that one, like, breeding request after you do Grunt's quest in the second game? It's just like, there have been, like, 20 breeding requests from the female camp for Grunt and 1 for Shepard. It'd be funny if you found out that it was Bakara. That'd be worth a giggle. And a lot going on in the observational lounges. Jacques has our medical bay back. Are you guys still working on Grunt? Goddamn. Oh, there's Edie. Edie, you good? I am trying to speak to her, but she is not responding. Let me try shaking her loose with a little quick load.
What are you up to now?
Hello, Shepard. I'm uploading data on the destroyed Reaper to the Turians. They are investigating possible Reaper structural weakness. Our data says Reaper capital ships such as Sovereign are of unique design. However, smaller Reaper destroyers bear similarities.
That one was small?
Relatively, yes. Ground attack ships are only 160 meters in height. Sovereign was approximately 2 kilometers.
Well, keep talking to the Tyrians. If there's a chink in the Reaper's armor, we all need to know it.
Hello, Shepard.
Okay, yeah. For some reason, I was hammering the spacebar and just there was no response. Sometimes you just need to shake them loose. I don't know why I keep coming back here when Rex isn't here. Nobody else ever comes in here. I wonder who uses the pods. Like, in the first game, you never had access to actual crew quarters, but ever since the second game, we have crew quarters. And there aren't enough sleeper pods for everyone.
Any sign of life?
The Reaper destroyed by the Thresher Maw appears to be completely inert, Doctor. We would need to send in teams to be sure.
Out of the question. Tell the Krogan to stay away.
Why does she just have, like, silhouettes of her old ship on the displays? It's on there 4 times, but that ship was destroyed. Oh, new intel. This advanced AMP is a sophisticated biofeedback system that interfaces with a set of armor microcomputers. The AMP can be set to help streamline the use of biotic skills and combat powers, or increase their damage instead. Power, I guess? I think I went with a cooldown bonus last time I had that option. I don't know if I can actually see it on there. Doesn't matter for me because I have no biotics. I mean, there are biotics on the ship. I'm not biotics.
The Genophage cured. The Krogan have no reason to hold back now, do they?
Nope.
Rex knows what he's doing, but can he keep the Krogan in check? Or will this be the start of another Krogan empire?
Well, so long as he's alive and in charge, we got nothing to worry about.
Eve's organizing the female Krogan. She reminds me of some of the more formidable matriarchs I've known.
Like your dad?
The Krogan won't let themselves fall by the wayside again. Not like they did after the rebellions. We'll have to get... I hope the Krogan live
Whoops.
up to their ancient legacy, and for the better.
There's a little extra long pause there. I accidentally skipped.
Hello, Shepard.
Mass relay traffic reapers. Reports, not reapers. Increase, decrease in recent relay traffic. To Widow, 95% increase. Omega 2, 65% increase. Tassela, 32%. Sign Hand, 43% decrease. Pelion, 12% decrease. Those are the first three were increases. No information on Karen or Shanxi Theta.
Please, enjoy your day.
Well, I will, thank you. You know, it kind of occurred to me during the times I was messing with my armor colors that I went with the whole... I went with the blue and yellow specifically because I have Ukraine on the brain, but blue and yellow is just kind of how Alliance armor uniforms work anyway, so I'm kind of just going within regulation. That's a nice thought. Take me to engineering. Am Krogan still hanging out here? Yeah, they're gonna be here as long as Grunt's here, probably. The Arlac company that is allegedly non-existent. BioWare. Oh.
Commander.
You settling in, Javik?
I believe some of the crew wishes to be my friend. That is not my purpose here. Also, I find I need to wash my hands. The residue of the ship is strong.
How so?
I have been exploring. There are traces of those who lived on the Normandy before. I detected a human female. Her genetic structure was unnatural, as if artificially created.
Sounds like Miranda.
And a Drell. There was illness in him.
Thane.
And the Krogan we met, who lived in these quarters. He was undergoing a metamorphosis. His memories were confused, not organic to his mind. There was great confusion and turmoil.
I still can't wrap my head around that. Reading information like you do.
For my people, it was as natural as breathing.
Evolution's an amazing force.
Our scientists believed it was the only force in the galaxy that mattered. They called it the cosmic imperative. The strong flourished, the weak perished. The governments of your cycle seem concerned with ensuring the survival of all.
Was this imperative just your scientist's opinion? Or did they prove something we don't know?
The universe had already proven it. They only had to look around.
And saw what exactly?
Extinction is the rule of law in the cosmos, the natural order of things. The weakest species are doomed.
It's the duty of the strong to protect the weak. Otherwise, we'd have anarchy.
But those who had nothing to offer would be eliminated.
So conflict should be a way of life?
Evolution demands it. The strong grow stronger by dominating the weak. It is for the greater good of all. Though I do not think your Asari approves of my beliefs.
Liara? I think she just had a different idea about what Protheans were like.
We are all a product of our time. Had I been born in this cycle, perhaps I would be the noble scholar she wishes me to be.
You think you'd like that? It's a whole different line of work.
I wouldn't know. Living a life of constant war. Taking life in every battle.
I see how it could be tough to see outside the box.
It is the only box I have known. It shapes me, as stone is shaped by the one who carves it. The stone has no choice in the form it will take. You and I, Commander. War is our sculptor, and we are prisoners to its design.
Maybe not much longer. We win this, and we'll both be set free.
Nothing to say to that, but it's a nice thought.
You have killed a Reaper. I would like to have seen it. No matter. There will be more.
Plenty more.
Yes. A difficult fight remains. I have heard about the offer the Solarians made. I would have accepted it, and not told the Krogan. Morality and friendship do not matter now. Your allies are simply resources to use against the Reapers.
Like, it's not impossible to have a reasonable conversation with the guy, but sometimes but then he just says something like that, and it's just like, goddamn, dude.
If the Krogan seek retribution for the past, do not waste time on sterility plagues. Destroy them where they stand. In the meantime, they are useful cannon fodder against the Reapers. Do not care what others think. Do what you must. Do not care what others think. Do what you must.
I mean, for the most part, I do that. Yes.
So, I hear the elusive man drinks bourbon. It all makes sense now.
What do you mean? You love whiskey.
Hey, Scotch, my dear girl. That Scunner drinks American bourbon. Completely different.
He's a psychotic megalomaniac, and you've got problems with his choice of liquor?
You've obviously never experienced the peat aroma of a fine Ely Scotch.
How exactly is bourbon made? I don't drink alcohol, like, hardly ever, so it's not exactly something I'm familiar with. Bourbon. How does one make a bourbon? What's the ingredient? Bourbon whiskey. Made from corn. Alright, it's corn whiskey. You can make alcohol out of a lot of things. I guess it's more about the process, and the ingredient is just how you add the flavor. Whiskey is made with wheat, I think? Grain. Yeah, I was right about that. Hold on. People getting into a shouting match outside. That's been happening more often, I swear. Yeah, like, I know vodka's made with potatoes. That's a thing I know. What's good?
Commander. Those FBA couplings you got us are still holding up.
Shepard?
Nothing to report.
Very good. Nothing. No news is good news. Excuse me. I don't know why I keep coming down here. Nobody's down here. Javik was down here once. Nobody else comes down here. I like how you still got the cot down here, even though the only reason there was one before was because Jack chose it as her place to be.
Genophage cure, huh? This beats the hell out of reporting on the Milgram City Council.
I don't think I've heard of Milgram. Which planet is that again?
Beckenstein. It's right next door to the Citadel. I'm a colony kid.
Are you doing anything interesting back here?
Commander, got a minute?
What do you want to know?
Oh, the camera's moving behind her. I don't like that.
You've just implemented a cure for the Genophage. Millions of Krogan will start fighting the Reapers. What do you say to people who think humanity is starting another Rachni war and Krogan rebellions?
I don't like how you just started recording me without asking. At least Kalisa had the dignity to ask, or at least the respect.
It's easy to remember the worst of Krogan history, but you also need to remember the best.
Meaning?
The Krogan were heroes once, and they want to be heroes again. We're giving them that chance.
Are you aware that Clan Urdnot is already petitioning the Council for an embassy and rights to a colony world?
The Krogan are coming to the aid of a Council homeworld. That's more than a lot of species can say. I helped them get the Genophage cure. Anything more is between the Council and the Krogan.
There it is, straight from Commander Shepard. Until tomorrow, this is Diana Allers. Good night and stay strong. Okay, I'll cut that together with the rest of the segment and send it to Command for approval. Commander.
That hasn't even gone out yet. You said you were gonna edit it, but it already affected our fucking war assets. That was a fucking live broadcast.
Sir.
Nothing new with Cortez. New shoulder pads. Kind of nice that you could just check right here. There's the visor. I always thought the visor was poorly aligned. Like, even in the stock photo they have to show it off, like, the little round bit that you think would go over the eye is, like, over your eyebrow. I just thought that just looked silly. More metagel capacity stuff. New weapon at Batarian State Arms, the Hornet. It's a burst weapon. Bleh. Alliance requisitions. Did I miss Alliance requisitions before? Wait, I can buy a new Kodiak? Oh, I could buy an extra. Wait, I can buy the Kawashi Fiber there. Where was Alliance requisitions at Citadel? I don't think I checked it last time, because otherwise I would have gotten... I feel like I would have gotten... Well, these are expensive upgrades for what is essentially a cosmetic upgrade to your ship. Which one would I get? I'm feeling kind of nostalgic. I was one of the few people who didn't hate the Mako. But the Hammerhead was just like a massive improvement. No, if I'd go for the... Never liked the look of these things. A second Kodiak would be simple. I don't know. When I can afford it, definitely getting the Hammerhead. They know what's up. It's the most expensive one you can get. Alright, what about James? What's James up to?
You think that cure they dispersed could do anything to us? We're not going to start growing scales or anything, right?
I mean, I don't know. Some people might be into that. Not me. I don't think we have anything to worry about.
Maybe now that we have the Krogan on board, we can go back to fighting the Reapers. I was looking at the specs on that Reaper you took out on Tuchanka. That was one of the small ones? Don't get me wrong, it's still dead, but damn. There was nothing small about it. Ready when you are.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Luck? Ha! Luck is for a Solarian male hoping to please his mate.
Also, let me look at this pistol again. What was the whole deal behind it? Similar to that of an impact-triggered resonant warp bomb, which has a devastating effect on shields and biotic barriers. The specialized nature of the warp field means it does not pierce armor effectively. Okay, so that's why it wasn't bad. I was shooting at armored targets. This weapon is dog shit against armored targets. Targets. And the phalanx is pretty light. Maybe I'll give it another chance. I'll give it another chance. We got a new shotgun? Yes, we did. The spike thrower. A long line of weapons used to hunt Thresher Maws. Its ammunition consists of oversized flechettes meant to pierce Thresher hide and create deep wound channels leading to massive blood loss. For additional firepower, the weapon is double-barreled, and as a last resort, possesses blades to cause internal injuries if the wielder is swallowed by the Thresher. Using a Grawl on a humanoid target has predictably grisly effects. Its shots could be charged for more damage. And of course, it weighs about as much as a truck, so I'm not going to be using it. Well, not in combination with a rifle. Let's drop the rifle for a little bit. I can manage a crawl with, I think I want to give it a shot. I appreciate that this has an actual bayonet blade. Unfortunately, it's on a shotgun, which just feels kind of silly. I mean, you're getting in close, so an extra stabbing implement isn't a terrible idea, but at the same time, I feel like there are better things I could add. Although, I'm curious, if you have a bayonet, do you use that when you go in for a melee, and the Omni Blade is just there for if you don't have one? Or does this just increase the damage I do with... I'm kind of curious. We'll put the bayonet on there. And switch back to the Tempest for a little bit. Just give everything armor piercing to go with my armor piercing. Why not? And we are at 3 hours, which means we still have time to do some stuff. Do we go? Okay, let's see what.
There's a new message at your private terminal.
Yeah. Hold on. I need to see something here. What did she do? Oh, looks like it went up. Commander Shepard's interview with Diana Allers about bringing the Krogan into the Reaper War cast the Krogan in a favorable light, which drew even more of the clans to the Allied Forces banner. Only a 4-point difference, but, you know, take it. Hope is not enough. The other species are too optimistic. Reapers can't be wished away. Hope did not save my people. There you go, Javik. For a guy named Joker, he tells some terrible ones. With the Krogan on our side, I guess he's allowed to celebrate. Yeah, Garrus was definitely winning the jokes contest. We'll probably do, like, one more, like, lighter mission. Let's not go to the Citadel straight away. Let's see what other space is available for us to poke around. And then we're gonna finish off with cleaning up the codex. Like I said, from here on, we're gonna try to do codex entries more regularly, just so I'm not doing one big block that takes up half an hour or more. All right. Okay, so there's got to be something hidden around here. We might do a little save scummery because I don't like the location. Whoa, the lens flare went away for a moment.
I found something.
Oh, there it is. It's just gonna be fuel too. I feel like if you're gonna have a sector with anything in it, like there should be more than just a single fuel, like, deposit, man.
I found something.
You hit the right spot and that ugly, supermassive lens flare just disappears. You need to be, like, at the right spot at the right angle. Like, the only thing you come out here for is just a little exploring and you just get fuel. I wish there was... I just feel disappointed when all I find is fuel. And would you look at that, more fuel. Alright, so what's new? We got the Atheon cluster here. That's new. It's definitely something new over here. Attic and Beta, we can go there. Kepler Verge, that's where that communications hub is. Anything new out here? Not currently. We could go straight for the thing that we... Let's go straight for the thing that we know is present. We could do our exploring next time. Alright, well, before we do, I will be another moment. Drink so much water. Back. Actually, I have enough points to get something? Oh, I do. Do I keep going up the armor piercing so we can experience full armor piercing power? A little bit of an increase to health, armor, and damage. Could give squad mates that power. Does it still overwrite theirs? Let's just go for the damage boost. What exactly was this mission? It's communications hub. Not much I saw, but what is this communications hub about? As a tactic comms facility on Ontaram, land on Ontaram to prevent servers from gaining control of crucial access points. I have a suspicion that we might run into somebody there. Is this where we run into Jacob? I bet this is where we run into Jacob. Well, let's check out the other planets first, then we'll go for a landing. Sesmos. Sesmos is an ice dwarf world. Its surface composed almost entirely of frozen water. Normally, a planetoid this small would not rate inclusion on the system's charts, but Sesmos' unusually large and beautiful ring of ice crystals has made it a popular subject for visual artists. This ring is the result of a glancing equatorial impact which left a large trench and threw a large amount of melted water into the atmosphere. The rings are a temporary feature and will completely decay in a few thousand years. Pretty. Glencory is a rock and ice planet with an atmosphere composed of chlorine and argon. The frozen surface is mainly composed of potassium and deposits of iron. Glencory is famously claimed by the eccentric Volus billionaire... Oh wait, no, we've been here before. I'd forgotten about this. Yeah, I remember. That's the crazy Volus guy. I wonder if there's any addendums on his operations. His private army of mercenaries are well established on the planet, waiting for husks to come knocking on their door. In all likelihood, they will be obliterated by the molten metal of a Reaper orbital bombardment on its way to somewhere important. Okay, so they're still down there. They're just not... not doing much. Is there a colony on Ontaram? Habitable world had been living in the shadow of disaster long before the Reaper War. Its moon's orbit is decaying, causing tidal disruptions and electrical storms before its eventual collision. When humans settled on Ontaram, the Asari derided it as foolish, but today the humans look prescient. The communications hub they set up on the planet has hundreds of quantum communicators, whose information is spread through broadcast on the planet and beamed out via combui. While Ontaram has yet to be attacked by Reaper forces, it is likely just a matter of time. So this is a vital area for communications. Alright, let's go. Who are we taking on the anti-Cerberus bash? Let's take James. Nah. If we're meeting somebody that we knew, which is what I suspect is happening, I have a feeling that we're going to run into Jacob here. This is our Jacob run-in mission, so I want to take Garrus. He might have something to say. And, Edie, sure. Right, already looked at my weapons. She's already got her weapons. Ooh, got a lot of points to spend.
Cerberus has taken one of our secret communication facilities. All campaigns in this theater depend on the information that dish array supplies.
What do we know?
We're getting intel from a tech who survived the attack. Grace Sato. She's hiding in a security bunker off-site.
A civilian?
Yes, patching her through.
Miss Sato, what's happening down there?
I'm staying hidden, but I'm the only one left. They're trying to hack into our systems to access Alliance operations protocols. I'm tracking their activity, but they're bound to find me sooner or later.
Hang in there. We'll be there soon.
Yes. Yes, Commander.
It's not ideal, but she's the only one with any traction on this. The information stored in that network is critical, Commander. If it gets into enemy hands, we'll lose a lot of good people.
I'll take care of it, Admiral.
See that you do. Hack it out.
I wasn't expecting the place to look like this.
They're locking onto me. Moving out of range.
Miss Sato, we've landed. What are we looking at?
Trying to seize control
Holy shit.
access points. I'm updating your nav point with the location of the terminal they're closest to cracking.
We'll keep them from hacking in.
Okay, it doesn't use the bayonet. It's entirely a cosmetic attachment. Are my shots not making it over there? That's cool. Couldn't disrupt that thing because I was being cheated.
Commander Shepard, Cerberus shuttles are scouring the area. I think they're looking for me.
They're using comms to pinpoint Sato's location.
Oh no. How do we...
Nothing's changed. Just upload the next set of coordinates.
Yes, Commander. Updating your nav point.
Alright. Feels like it's got a bit more power than I remember it having. So, who was the cheap bitch that managed to get a shot in me right at the fucking... Fuck you. Fuck off! Holy shit! They all, like, teleported up my ass the moment I touched that thing. Fuck off, all of you. What is that snapshot? What is that fucking nonsense? Fuck you. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm busy.
Miss Sato, come in. Miss Sato, are you there?
Ms. Sato must believe breaking radio silence would mean her death.
We need the final coordinates. Grace, listen to me.
Can't talk. They're right outside.
I know you're scared. This is more than you signed up for, but I won't let you down. I promise.
Okay, Commander. Updating your nav point with the last location now. But if you get to me in time... Just hurry, please.
Commander, I think I can make a run and get her.
Do it.
Open fire. Go! Get down! Everyone engage! Squad, get down!
Nope. It's too thick, can't penetrate. Yeah, can't penetrate that like that. You trying to do that flippy shit? I think I got both of them. Nice.
Good job, Lieutenant.
Our communication station is secure. Operations in this theater are safe again. No small task to keep it that way. How's Misato doing?
She has to be transferred to a nearby Alliance station. She wants to help however she can.
Good. We need all the help we can get. Hack it out.
A brief little detour. The Alliance's most advanced communications relay on Ontaram has been saved from a Cerberus attack. Technician Grace Sato was rescued and will direct the construction of several smaller arrays to collect crucial intel from various star systems. Slowly, we creep up to the minimum required strength. Naturally, we want more than minimum. I might have some email, but other than that, I don't think anyone will have any new to say after a little mission like that.
How about your buddy? The one who joined Cerberus. You heard from him?
No, I cut ties. Reported him for whatever good that did. No way I want that crap on my record. Commander, you've got a new message at your private terminal.
See the light blinking from here. Napakara. Commander, I'm writing you from the Kelvic Valley on Tuchanka. I wish you were here to see this. I'm watching krogan pour in from across our entire planet. So many of them that I've lost count. They've all heard the news. We're finally free. The age of suffering is over. Never again will krogan be afraid to give birth. Never again will they fear the pain and heartache it might bring. While I don't know what fate ultimately has in store for my people, I can promise you your decision to believe in us will not be in vain. We will fight the Reapers for more than glory. We will fight them because we know there is a future for us after victory. The rest of my life will be devoted to traveling to Tuchanka and speaking aloud the words no krogan has heard for nearly 2,000 years. There is reason to hope. This I owe you, Commander. This I will never forget. Cool. People, calm down.
Commander Shepard.
Yo. Alright. God, I probably have so many fucking codex entries. Then again, a lot of the secondary ones we usually end up skipping because they're just a bunch of dry technical stuff. Sorry biology. Did we not have a sorry biology one before? Culture. I like a bit of culture. The rare Solarian females are cloistered on their world out of tradition and respect. Powerful female Dalatrosses are dynasts and political kingpins. They determine the political course of their respective regions through shrewd negotiation. Though male Solarians rise to positions of great authority in business, academia, or the military, they rarely have any input on politics. Due to their method of reproduction, Solarians have no concept of romantic love, sexual attraction, or the biological impulses and social rituals that complicate human lives. Male-female relationships are rare due to the scarcity of females and more akin to human friendship. Sexuality is strictly for the purpose of reproduction. Ancient social codes determine who gets to fertilize eggs, which produces more daughters to continue a bloodline. Fertilization generally only occurs after months of negotiation between the parents' clans and is done for purposes of political and dynastic alliance. No Solarian would imagine defying this code. I feel like I did actually read this one. A bunch of these are just being re-added, aren't they? Yeah. Some of these are just being rediscovered. Yeah, the Unification War. We had one on the Unification one before. Prothean discs? Yeah, we know about that. I have to rely on my memory here. Okay, we don't have ancient Krogan history. That's definitely new. The lack of adequately preserved archives presents a significant obstacle to research into ancient Krogan history. Nevertheless, recent archaeological discoveries have shed new light on the topic, revealing a society once rich with cultural, architectural, and artistic accomplishments. Newly discovered ruins reveal that the Krogan had particularly advanced understanding of structural and geotechnical engineering, as compared to other cultures at similar stages of development. Old Krogan architecture demonstrates seismic loading techniques that would have both resisted earthquakes and diffused the small-scale vibrations from vehicles in their sprawling cities. Curiously, however, Tuchanka has little natural tectonic activity. Instead, researchers believe the ancient Krogan were concerned with safe cohabitation with one of the apex predators, Kalros, the mother of all thresher maws. Prior to the Genophage, Krogan population growth was limited by predation, disease, and war. Even so, the birth rate exploded once the Krogan achieved industrialization, leading to wars over resources and living space. Other species on Tuchanka suffered greatly as the Krogan expanded. When the Krogan ran out of land, they settled into an arms race that ended in nuclear devastation. Tuchanka's relatively short golden age was at an end. Blood Rage, we know about that. Culture, we have to know about that. Rebellions, absolutely know about that. Doctrine, yeah, that's not new. Mass Effect 3 From the Ashes. Kind of like a book thing. Okay, Cerberus, this is mostly new stuff. With the Atlas, Cerberus's research arm has combined the deadly armor and firepower of a Ymir mech with the tactical superiority of a trained human pilot. An Element Zero core allows the Atlas to be airdropped onto a battlefield with minimal impact damage. Its thick armor includes a robust transparent canopy made from polycrystalline composite proprietary to Cerberus. Alliance engineers hypothesize that the material is some kind of synthetic sapphire composed with interlayers to resist cracking and thermal damage. Although the Atlas is somewhat unwieldy on the field, its anti-personnel machine guns and ability to shrug off damage from anything short of heavy weapons makes it a fearsome opponent. Heavy loss of life is to be expected in any unprepared encounter with this unit. Cerberus combat engineers are specialized support units that assist primary forces while staying out of the line of fire. They wear lighter armor than the typical Cerberus combatant, using a modified mesh that allows greater mobility. Under cover and out of sight, engineers focus on setting up and maintaining turrets as well as repairing mechanical units or armored allies. When confronted, they return fire only for as long as it takes them to find cover again and let frontline combat personnel take over. Although the engineers are not particularly dangerous on their own, the Alliance specifically warns troops to remain alert for turrets, which can mow down an entire squad while the engineer escapes. Now, first encounter with the Nemesis was on his planet. The Nemesis is a Cerberus sniper specialist. Customized implants allow the Nemesis to withstand the crippling kickback of the M98 Widow anti-materiel rifle, turning a redoubtable opponent into a force capable of inflicting instant death. A suite of high-tech scanning equipment makes the sniper adept at maintaining cover, meaning a Nemesis is usually spotted only after opening fire, assuming the target survives the first round. Because of self-destruct mechanisms that activate upon the sniper's death, the Alliance has never retrieved an example of Nemesis augmentation technology. This fact, combined with Cerberus Force's penchant for suicide when faced with capture, has made scientific study of their implants impossible. Lame. Phantoms are agile Cerberus agents with a wide array of offensive and defensive capabilities, including particular specialization in evasive maneuvers and firing from cover. Wow, specialized in firing from cover, like everyone. Although intelligence on their implants still evades the Alliance, Phantoms are known to be able to create a personal barrier for greater protection. Monomolecular blades and biotic shielding allow Phantoms to engage in close quarters combat, and Phantoms can briefly cloak in order to recover from injuries. Because of this ability, the Alliance recommends personal confirmation of a Phantom's death. Yeah, Benning one's new. Benning was once a thriving human colony, but the Reapers have rounded up a large portion of the populace for processing. Some pockets of civilian resistance still elude the Reapers, however, and rescue attempts are underway. A resistance radio established during the early days of the attack continues to broadcast, exhorting survivors to band together and discussing rumors of safe havens. Unfortunately, those rumors have begun to result in ambushes, increasing the desperation of those who remain free. Through all this, Benning's automated agricultural systems have continued to operate, leading to unprecedented stores of food in the planet's granaries and warehouses. Loads of food. And we know about Enteron. The krogan called a shroud is a technological remnant of the Solarian uplift. After Tuchanka's nuclear war released tons of smoke and dust into the atmosphere, the planet temporarily cooled from global dimming, except at the poles where the albedo was lowered by soot. As clouds trapped the resulting heat, enormous swaths of permafrost melted, releasing methane captured in clathrates from previous millennia. This potent greenhouse gas created a runaway heat cycle that was called the nuclear summer. Without intervention, Tuchanka would have sunk into a slow but certain mass extinction. The Solarian solution was to assemble the shroud, a permanent sun shield of trillions of tiny diffractory lenses placed at the L1 Lagrange point. The point in space where the lenses naturally stable orbit would shade the planet. The Solarians settled on a delivery method that became known as the Shroud Towers. The towers were essentially enormous coil guns that could fire a payload of lenses into space, along with the equipment necessary to monitor the payload's trajectories. Many krogan warlords enthusiastically approved of the plan, some because they believed it would save in saving their homeworld, but most because they saw future military applications for the Shroud Towers. The Shroud was completed on schedule over the next few decades, by which time the Rachni held the warlords' full attention. The Krogan rebellions were not kind to the Shroud Towers. All but one was destroyed during the push for Krogan demilitarization. The remaining tower, often referred to as the Shroud, even though that is technically incorrect, was repurposed for cloud seeding and atmospheric repair. It remains on the landscape as an anachronism, a symbol of a time when Krogan and Solarians helped themselves by aiding one another. In the end, it did that before it exploded. Even with all the Reaper's power, harvesting every sapient species in the galaxy can take decades or even centuries. The most time-consuming part of the process is gathering DNA from the population. To accelerate the effort, the Reapers follow a consistent procedure. Victims who cooperate, surrender, or are captured by Husks are sorted into camps. It is believed the Husks process receptors that allow them to analyze a victim's DNA through sight, smell, or touch. Victims that meet their standards are herded from the camps into processor ships. Those Husks deemed insufficient are either turned into Husks themselves or indoctrinated to serve as slave labor. The Reapers use this last option to give their victims false hope. Many captives who would otherwise fight back become docile when they see members of their own kind obey and survive. Processor ships reduce victims to a transportable liquid. Like in a slaughterhouse, the ship's design prevents victims from seeing or hearing what happens elsewhere so that they do not panic. The victims are ushered into locking pods, then rent apart and dissolved into paste that is flushed to storage vats. The rate of killing is phenomenal. Intelligence estimates suggest that there are more than 400 processor ships on Earth, killing approximately 1.86 million humans per day. If it was billions, they'd already be dead. In combination with battlefield deaths, disease, and famine, this pace will result in the complete depopulation of Earth within a decade. As the husks and indoctrinated slaves build more slaughtering facilities, the kill rate can only increase. Although clearly technologically superior to the Citadel forces, the Reapers have experienced casualties in the battles across the galaxy. This indicates that theoretically, with the right intelligence, weapons, and strategy, Reapers could be defeated. Unlike the Mass Effect relays that they created, Reapers do not have quantum shields. Locking itself down at a quantum level would leave a Reaper unaware of its surroundings until the shield's deactivated. Instead, Reapers rely on kinetic barriers. In the case of a Reaper capital ship, these kinetic barriers can hold off the firepower of 2 dreadnoughts simultaneously, but 3 clearly causes strain, and 4 typically results in destruction. Weapons designed to maximize heat damage, such as the Thanix series, shows better results against the Reapers than pure kinetic impacts. The barriers of a Reaper destroyer are less formidable than those of a capital ship. It is possible for a single cruiser or many fighters to disable or demolish a cruiser if they can get within range before they themselves are destroyed. Reaper's energy sources are not infinite. For example, to land on a planet, a Reaper must substantially reduce its mass. This transfer of power to its Mass Effect generators leaves the Reaper's kinetic barriers at only partial strength. Sovereign was destroyed while assuming direct control over Saren. The feedback from Saren's death seemed to entirely overload Sovereign's shields. If I sound weird at any point while I'm just doing a lot of talking, it's probably because a yawn suddenly came on. Because I have weird, like... I don't know. Like, I'm not bored, but for whatever reason, I yawn a lot. It's not like I don't get a lot of sleep. It's just start yawning. I'm trying to talk while the yawns happen. It's very strange. The feedback from Saren's death seemed to entirely overload Sovereign's shields. Current Reapers do not seem to suffer from this design flaw. Reaper capital ships can turn faster than Citadel dreadnoughts, but to do so, they must lower their mass to a level unacceptable in combat situations. Consequently, it is possible for a dreadnought to emerge from FTL travel behind a capital ship, then bring its guns to bear faster than the Reapers can return fire. This is a poor tactic, however, against Reapers flying in proper formation. Alright. That's all the stuff where I have to read.
Thresher maws are subterranean.
We already know about those.
Admiral Stephen Hackett is a decorated... Garrus Vakarian is a noted Turian sharpshooter and combat engineer. He was born on Palaven and became a Citadel security officer like his father, but left the Force when superiors shut down his investigation into the rogue Spectre Saren Arterius. Vakarian eventually discovered that Saren had been indoctrinated by the Reaper known as Sovereign. Vakarian eventually found his way to the criminal haven of Omega and assumed the name Archangel. There, he and a small group of operatives worked to disrupt the settlement's powerful mercenary groups until Shepard recruited him. The Turian narrowly survived the Second Normandy's attack on the Collectors. More recently, Vakarian has become the head of a Turian task force focused on preparing for the Reaper invasion.
Weird transition between those two sentences.
Dr. Morden Solus is a master geneticist and former operative for the Solarian Special Tasks Group. Dr. Solus is well known for his work in perpetuating the Genophage, a biological weapon that almost completely sterilized the Krogan species. He eventually left the STG to open a clinic on Omega, where his combat skills kept the clinic safe and operational amid Omega's lawless society. In 2185, Commander Shepard recruited Dr. Solus to research the Collectors and the Reapers. He was a member of the Normandy crew that traveled beyond the Omega-4 relay to attack the Collectors. He survived the mission, but his current whereabouts are unknown.
A pile of rubble, sadly.
Miranda Lawson is a high-ranking former Cerberus operative and a human biotic. Lawson headed Project Lazarus, the Cerberus operation that brought Commander Shepard back from the brink of death after the first Normandy was destroyed. Lawson is herself an example of the achievements possible through genetic engineering. She was created in 2150 through manipulation of her father's DNA. Her entire physical and mental composition was deliberately engineered, including a longer lifespan and a superior immune system. Lawson accompanied Commander Shepard on the maiden voyage of the Normandy SR-2 and was part of the crew responsible for the defeat of the Collectors. She has since left Cerberus. Her current whereabouts are unknown.
Yeah, she's somewhere out there.
Dr. Karen Chakwas is a trauma surgeon and a major in the Alliance Navy. She served on the SSV Normandy under both Captain Anderson and Commander Shepard, and was aboard the ship when it was destroyed by the Collectors. She later quit the Alliance in order to rejoin Shepard on the Cerberus-built Normandy SR-2. Along with most of the Second Normandy's crew, Dr. Chakwas was kidnapped by the Collectors and taken beyond the Omega-4 relay, where Commander Shepard eventually rescued her. After the Alliance impounded the Normandy SR-2, an inquiry found that Dr. Chakwas had no significant role in or provable knowledge of Cerberus's criminal activities. She has since rejoined the Alliance.
Not only did I not know that she was a major, that is a very unflattering photo. She looks way older in that photo than she actually does in the game. I mean, she is on the older side, but she looked like she was doing a lot better than that. Like, what's going on there?
The John Grissom Academy, founded in 2176, is the Alliance's premier school for young human biotics. The institution is housed in a space station in orbit over the human colony of Elysium. Its main program, the Ascension Project, is designed both to train and monitor young biotics, as well as help them integrate into society after graduation. Unlike the project's previous incarnation, Biotic Acclimation and Temperance Training, or BAT, the training is not exclusively military in nature. The Academy also employs scientific personnel, including Dr. Kaylee Sanders, to develop synthetic intelligence systems and biotic amplifiers like the new L4 implants.
Why is it B-A-A-T? Shouldn't it be B-A-T-T? You can still call it BAT.
Tuchanka, the Krogan homeworld, boasts extreme temperature alternating between large oceans and land masses covered in flora. The Solarian homeworld Serkesh is known for its humid climate and lush vegetation. As with the rainforests that once covered Earth, the planet's many forests enjoy a rich biodiversity. The Solarian desire for intellectual stimulation drove them long ago to explore every aspect of their environment, developing ways to thrive without consequences detrimental to their habitat. The areas near major cities and industrial centers are meticulously maintained, with an eye towards ensuring that sunlight penetrates to the ground level, and that established paths through the jungle are kept clear for travel. Burngrass, a soil-enriching and adaptable weed native to Serkesh, has become a major export because of its value for terraforming.
Neat. If I sound quieter, it's because I'm sitting further back. Actually, it picks me up pretty well if I talk at normal volume. I can actually just sit back and listen to someone else talk.
Biotics is the ability of rare individuals to manipulate. The Mars archives describe a superweapon that the Alliance has named the Crucible, which exploits the technology of Mass Effect relays. Beyond the basic principles, however, researchers know little about how the weapon actually works. One popular theory suggests that since relays can transfer matter and energy across the galaxy with little regard for distance, it may be possible to create a weapon for which range is barely a factor. Duplicating the advanced science used to build the relays has proven difficult, however. If the Crucible were completed, the challenge would become tuning the weapon to kill a Reaper halfway across the galaxy without inflicting unthinkable levels of collateral damage. What is clear is that the Crucible's construction is a massive effort, drawing resources from throughout explored space. Staggering financial costs have been disregarded in the common effort to create something, anything, that can stop the Reapers. The Genophage It may be possible to reverse the Genophage by extracting an immunity from the genetic data of a cured Krogan female. A Solarian geneticist named Malin, a former student of Dr. Morden Solis, discovered the cure through unethical experimentation on live subjects. The complexity and durability of the genophage derives from biochemical countermeasures that the Solarians wove into the plague in an attempt to make the sterilization incurable. No one is certain of how Malin circumvented the countermeasures, but his work was complete enough to allow replication of his results. In its original form, the cure restored fertility but severely compromised the immune system. This resulted in slow, painful death for all but one of Malin's test subjects. If the beneficial aspects of the cure can be isolated, a specially tailored virus could repair the affected genes in other krogan.
We did.
The Reaper called Harbinger is believed. The Brute is a hulking amalgamation of Turian and krogan victims of the Reapers. Because tissue from dextroprotein species like the Turians is incompatible with levoprotein species like the krogan, implants regulate the Brute's body chemistry to combat organ rejection. It is the fusion of Turian military skill and krogan blood rage that makes the Brute such a formidable enemy, capable of destroying armored vehicles to get to the soldiers inside. Troops are advised to keep their distance and, whenever possible, not engage a Brute alone.
Art.
The sight of a Reaper harvester in flight nearby is
Explain
one of the
these
first
things.
indications that a Reaper invasion is underway. Their massive wingspan allows them to quickly cover the distance between them and their prey. In the harvester's mouth are two heavy guns that fire in an alternating pattern. The harvester's most fearsome quality, however, is that its appearance guarantees that Reaper ground troops are not far behind.
Now, I want an explanation on why this seems to be the only, type of enemy in the Reaper arsenal that's based off of wildlife and not off of harvested sapient species. We saw these things flying around that one planet on two. They were only on the one planet, I'm pretty sure. It was that really foggy one that you had, Bloodpack trying to do a mining operation on. And yet, we see these things, and apparently they're common enough they got a whole entry. So, did the Reapers just go to that one planet, stop by, and be like, no, because they had these things the moment they were invading Earth, so they must have... The species, the only thing that would make sense was if this species was also present in Batarian, on a planet in Batarian space. The Reapers saw that and thought, hey, we could do something with that. The only species... the ones, you have a pest species like the Varan that got taken to other places and are pretty durable. They could thrive in other places, but that's because they're from Tuchanka. Apparently, Thresher moths are also from Tuchanka. Maybe. And spores got on ships and got dropped on a bunch of other planets or something, or they were on asteroids. I don't know. I don't get this one. I mean, it's a cool-looking enemy, don't get me wrong, but, we've only seen and fought one, and... I don't know. This one's... Its presence, its existence confuses me.
Marauders are harvested Turians that command and protect other Reaper troops. The lean, armored creatures present a significant threat in and of themselves, but they are especially dangerous when leading a Reaper task force. Alliance Marines have observed Marauders fortifying husks and cannibals by enveloping them in a ribbon of energy that forms a scabby shell of armor. For this reason, when Alliance soldiers encounter a Marauder alongside husks or cannibals, standing orders are to target the Marauder first. Ravagers are former Rachni that the Reapers have transformed into heavy artillery through a process of implantation and genetic modification. As walking organic turrets, they can sustain and inflict considerable damage. Ravagers bear egg sacs that continuously spawn swarmers. If the sacs are destroyed either during combat or upon the Ravager's death, their entire contents burst forth to charge the enemy and explode on contact. A dead Ravager expels a caustic gas and an acidic puddle. Alliance scientists have theorized that it is easiest for the Reapers to maintain control over units of Rachni genetic extraction because of the species' neurological predisposition for hive mind consensus.
Makes sense.
Reaper weapon, nicknamed Black Star, is so advanced that Alliance scientists can only offer speculation about how it works.
I haven't even gotten
the gun
to use
appears
it.
to exploit an Element Zero core and mass effect fields to fire gravitational singularities, micro black holes that revert to their natural lethality when they impact a solid object. Researchers theorize that the blast tears apart the strong nuclear forces that hold the target's atoms together, resulting in a localized fusion reaction in light atoms and a localized fission reaction in heavy atoms. If that hypothesis is correct, the weapon alters nuclei, thus changing the chemical composition of the target. This destroys organic tissue, corrodes surviving armor, and leaves a visible trail of light-emitting particles. Although some might argue that the Black Star's single-launch capability makes it a liability, its capacity for utter destruction is essential when the user requires large-scale, instantaneous damage.
Yeah, we found one exactly one time, but I only found it after the battle where it would have been useful. And we have yet to see another one. I would have thought there'd be more to the codexes. I kind of wish that in the save transfers that it remembered what codex entries you already had and wouldn't flag them as new unless there was some kind of edit to them that would make them worth listening to or reading again. But yeah, we'll work on keeping the codex entries a bit more clear from now on. But for now, that will be it.
Commander.
Actually gonna stop at 4 this time. So hopefully, things stay clear for a little while. I just have that little bit of work left over. Technically, there's a little something else I could do, but it's simple stuff. It's not the complicated stuff that takes a little longer. Oh, there's that hammer I grabbed. Still missing 2 of the ones from that I had before, pretty sure. I like how shiny they are. Is it the one? Spins. Alright, we shall consult with our tactician. I thought so. Albeit. Until next time. Maybe I'll do 2 streams next week. Who knows? Who knows? Have a good one.